Good afternoon and welcome to Calgary, Alberta, Canada for the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. As we take a good look at downtown Calgary, see the Calgary Tower there to your right, and a beautiful shot of the Peace Bridge over the Bow River here in Calgary. And we're going to bring you now to Winsport in Canada's Olympic Park. And now into the venue as we welcome you to this World Men's Curling Championship for session number 8, Sweden versus Norway. You take a good look at the fans that we have in this COVID world. Not real, but a good look at some people who typically appear at some of these championships in Canada, and some that it's the closest they'll get to appearing here. But let's meet our teams. Team Sweden, Christopher Sundgren is the lead, Rasmus Rana at second, Oscar Eriksson at third, and at skip, Nicholas Edin, and the 2018 Olympic silver medalists. Taking on Team Norway, Magnus Vahlberg, Marcus Hoiberg at second, Torger Nergard at third, Stefan Walstad at skip. And they are going to have to play well to take on this very good Swedish team. As we look at the standings, the current standings, Norway and Switzerland, the only undefeated teams. Sweden did lose a game to Switzerland early on, but I think they do have the advantage here coming into this game. You see a number of other teams at one loss, and a few teams on this session today are looking for their first win, including China, Korea, and Netherlands. And instead of handshakes in this pandemic world, we have fist pumps. And also in this session, we have Sheet A, the Netherlands looking for their first win of the tournament, taking on Team Canada, who's coming off a tough loss, extra and loss to Switzerland this morning. Sheet B, Bruce Mowat and Scotland at 3-1, taking on a winless Team China. And Sheet C, Denmark at 1-3 against Korea, looking for their first win as well on Sheet C. And then we bring you to our feature sheet, Sheet D here, as we take a look at Team Sweden. As I mentioned, the 2018 Olympic silver medalist, two-time defending world champions here. It's been a couple of years since we've had a world championship now. Very good team. And as I bring in my partner in crime here for this session, Olympic gold medalist and world champion Kevin Martin. Kevin, what do you think we're going to see here in this game?
Well, it's two teams that are playing fantastic. You've got Norway and sitting at top of the board at 4-0, and of course Nicholas Edin, of course, near the top, as he always is. And I'll tell you what, this morning, the Russian Curling Federation gave Sweden all they could handle in their game earlier on today. And I think that, you know, Sweden's going to have to pick up their game a little bit to get by Norway in this one. I predict this will be a very, very good curling game.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, when I look at the numbers for Team Sweden in that game against Team RCF this morning, their numbers were quite good, but it went to an extra end. And a tight turnaround as well. Going to grab something to eat quickly and back out on the ice here. And in the pregame warm-up, and the last shot draw for the last stone advantage in the first end. So Sweden will have last stone advantage here. Throwing the red rocks, we will see Magnus Vahlberg up first for Team Norway, throwing the lead stones.
Go ahead.
25-year-old, only started curling in 2014.
That's quite amazing to only be playing for just a few years, and here you are at a world championship level. That's maybe a little bit of stress when you've only played for just a few years.
Yeah, typically we see people starting a little younger than that, but late start is better than never. As they slide into the rings. I think they were going tight there, weren't they, Kevin? Trying to throw up a guard or no?
Well, they were sweeping it still close to the house, but I don't think that mattered to them a whole lot. I don't think they thought that Nichols would play passive first end, but he is hitting this one, and then you may see Team Sweden try to roll this to the corner, throw up a corner guard on the second one.
No brushes down here.
Oh. Does it stick around? Looks like it will.
Just.
This is sort of a passive way of playing for a deuce. Roll off on the first one, expecting Team Norway to hit and stay, and then throw the corner guard on your next one. It's good sound early game strategy. Well, you are going to hit. Thinking of a blank in the first.
And does Nicodene's team typically do that, or does it depend on who they're playing? What do you normally see with that team?
Yeah, so this is something that, earlier today, Nick threw a corner. So I guess it's really up to maybe a feeling before the game, looking at his players. Are they ready? Are they not? I know a lot of times when we'd play, I would purposely not do the same all the time. Otherwise, if you give away your strategy and you always do the same thing,
it's too predictable.
Yeah, you don't want to be predictable. So I would have thought that Nick might have played a corner guard, but he may have done that the last 2 or 3 games in a row. So this game he didn't.
Well, and we do have a number of members, staff members of teams that come out for every game, scouting the opposition that they'll be playing throughout the week. So, like you say, Kevin, you don't want to be too predictable. And if you've done the same thing 3 games in a row, it might be time to switch it up. As we see Norway put up a guard.
This will be a fairly fast end now, with Team Sweden deciding to hit that rock on the side and not throw a guard. Now likely, I can't see them going around a center guard. It doesn't. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. So peel this end away and hope to make your last peel for the blank. That's always the scary part. Peel away the whole end and then
right nose the blank.
Nose the blank. Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Marcus Hoiberg, the second here for Team Norway, 29-year-old. So rules of play here, you can see the teams are required to play a minimum of 6 ends. Each side has 38 minutes of thinking time, and each team also has 1 second timeout. They can consult with their coach. So we're going to see the veteran on this Norway team here right away, Torger Nergard, longtime third for Thomas Alsrud. Very successful career that team had. You played against them in the gold medal game in Vancouver in 2010. So
played against that team a lot in a lot of various events all over the world. Good bunch of guys and very good players.
Yeah, Torger sure brings a lot of experience to this team that's younger. Torger, at 46 years old, has been around the game for a long time.
Five-time Olympian.
Yes, he was also, I believe, the alternate for Paul Truslin in 2002 in Salt Lake City.
Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate that.
I didn't say anything about the game.
It wasn't their fault that I threw my last draw half an inch heavy. I don't think I can blame that on them. No. I'm trying to hit and stay on this one. Torger.
Yep. Rent. Bra Kosta. Bra spilt, Torger. Ja, vanlig. Ny blank. Ja, 9 blank fikk jeg. 9-1.
Så blir
9-1.
This is Stefan heading down to the other end of the sheet to throw his stones. Often when we see blank end, I think we see the teams trying to save a little bit of time.
Ja, 10-3.
And Stefan Walstad, World University Games gold in 2015. He also coached the mixed doubles Norwegian team that won bronze at the Pyeongchang Olympics in 2018.
Ja. OK, greit. Rent. Bare rent.
Godt det er rett der.
Extremely fast end being played here. Skips are already at their end.
Yeah, pretty straightforward curling here. So.
Ja. Og litt grann, alle. Ja, det er bra. Ja. Midt på sti. Ja.
What would you do here, Kevin? Would you try to roll it to a position that you almost have to roll it in, but do you roll it to the wing or to the middle? Does it matter?
I don't. With Nicodine, probably doesn't. A lot of skips, so it does matter which turn they throw as far as the blank goes. For Nick, it likely won't. He's such a good hitter as far as in the world of curling goes. He's one of the best. So, in turn, Peel.
Nico Sedin is four-time world champion as he throws his last stone here in the first end, trying to peel it out for a blank. No problem there. So blank here in the first end of this game in session 8, Norway versus Sweden.
Det känns. Da kan vi en som plasserer garden etterpå.
Ja, men da får vi
første en til mange skulle mer, er det ikke?
Men det er kanskje litt vel offensivt til.
Første spiller som skulle mer.
Take på outen precis vid linan tror jag det kommer lite extra där.
Känns som att åt båda hållen skullar mer så, men det är mer extremt tillbaka.
Ja, det tycker jag också. Jag tror speciellt vid lina, jag tror de som man sätter kvar lite vid 12-foten, de kan hålla sig där ute. Men när de kommer nära linan känns det som att det kommer lite extra liksom.
Ja. Ja, ganska bra. Den är bra.
Du är på 3.
Marcus sin.
Det ser bra ut.
Den är bra.
2,5.
Det dras på då.
3 är perfekt.
Welcome back to the BKT Tires and OK Tired World Men's Championship here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, as we get underway in the second end here between Sweden and Norway. Blank end in the first end by Sweden, and they will continue to have the last stroke advantage here in the second end. Norway has put up the center guard, and we see Adin getting right into it, Kevin.
Yeah, going around center. You would also have the opportunity to throw corner guard if you wished, but center guard's fairly long, pretty easy to come around. So Nicely done. Barry's in there. Action.
Magnus Vaberg,
Linja okej.
En holder i gang, tror jeg.
Norwegian
Linja
lead.
bra. Full fart. 5.
I'd like to
Linja gul. Har blitt plass
get
som
this
nå.
right on top of the Swedish stone in the top 4 foot
Linja
if
bra.
possible.
Bare fart. Linja er det.
Line looks good if the weight's good.
Linja er gull. Slimer den på. Litt overkøl faktisk.
Du stopper nå.
Har det.
Helt nedpå, Markus.
Og spill.
Just a little bit short of that stone, but lined up fairly well.
Bra linje, samma som förra. Känns tajtare. Nej, linjen är bra.
31-year-old Christopher Sundgren.
Ja, det är bra linje.
Trying to lock the corner freeze on this. Does not want to be to the face of the Yellowstone. Wants to stay on the angle.
Bra. Ganska lite tajt om något. Gärna hålla den.
It looks pretty good.
Lite studs okej nu också.
Stay on the angle a little bit if possible.
Bra så.
Just like that. Excellent.
Ganska exakt samma. Det var bara att den var lite lösare så kallade den tidigare. Men samma linje ska jag säga på de där två.
So this is when you get a bit of a, when the leads are playing that well. All 4 rocks made very well. Sort of a battle of the angles to see if who makes the first slip up.
Ingen bounce med linja.
Give advantage to the other team.
Gjerne opp fart, tror jeg.
Okej. Linja är bra. Jag är nära på fart. Okej, full fart. Linja okej, full frys.
The line looks real nice here. This will come right into the bundle of rocks in the center. Line on the corner as well.
Bra spel, Marcus.
Fantastic shooting by everyone.
Norwegian coach, Thomas Lovald.
Ja, vi ligger bra alltså. Helt okej att ta den där lite tungt och bara få snärten där. Ja, men då ligger de ju. Ja, nej, vi kan dra en till. Ja, jag gillar det. Mitt håll. Till och med frysa egen röd här är okej också.
You also see behind the scoreboard there Paul Trulsen, 2002 Olympic gold medalist.
Got to play Paul quite a few times during those few years when they were going so well, and he definitely put on a show at the Olympics in 2002 in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Helst curla lite. Nära. Okej, få en bite här, det vore nice. Frysa egen är okej.
So you saw Team Sweden wanting to, or having a look at running the guard back, but because those angles are so good,
Okej, det är bra.
they elected to draw again.
Ganska mjukt satt, tyckte jag.
Jag tyckte du förde ut den lite utanför 12-foten. Längre ut än Krippas i alla fall.
Now we see coach of Team Sweden, Fredrik Lindberg, who curled with Nicholas Sedin for a number of years, won the Olympic bronze medal in 2014 in Sochi with Nicholas. And Maria Pritz. Now she's one I'm familiar with, Kevin. Myself playing with Team Jennifer Jones and representing Canada at the Olympics in Sochi in 2014, and we played Maria and her team in the gold medal game.
Pretty good group of coaches on the bench for both teams here.
Not too shabby. A few Olympic medals hanging around out there.
Nice tap right on the nose. Didn't really want to get the roll in behind, otherwise it wouldn't be easy to raise back.
So when you look at this situation, Kevin, is there an advantage to one team over the other right now?
Well, in about a minute and a half, I'll let you know, because I would imagine that Nick will throw the yellow run back onto the edge of the red, if that's made perfectly. Right there against and off the red, like that. And if that's made, then definitely advantage Team Sweden. But it's not an easy shot.
Rasmus Rana trying to make a good one here, and it's over curling.
Just a little tight coming out of the hack. Did not get out to the broom on that one, and right away, Rasmus, you could see in his face that no, I did not get out to it. Yeah, so you'll see him come up the center line. See that rock? It's on the center, and he tries to put it back, but just can't. It's pretty tough to correct when you start sliding out crooked with a 40-pound object.
Sounds like Norway's, or I should say it looks like, because I can't actually understand them, but it looks like they're talking about running something back here.
Well, any contact with the red in the top 8 foot will spring that yellow out of the house easily, and the red would sit too. So right now, slight advantage. This Team Sweden.
Now they're...
Well, that's the way to take away that exact shot. So you could run it back, wouldn't be wrong. Or you can guard that side. Slightly risky because, of course, if you throw a guard, somebody can always run it back onto the edge of the red zone. Certainly you don't want to be too tight to the house with this.
Yeah, and they're calling that it's deep, so they're trying to sweep it.
Past the trouble. That's not intended.
No, and ended up being a little bit in between. The sweepers called it heavy, and I think they were trying to bring it back, and then it started to slow down and got stuck in between.
Okej. Sen om det blir superbra vet jag inte, men alltså man borde stanna åtminstone i röd här.
Alltså, även om vi bara vickar upp på egen så är det rätt nice.
Bara vicka in där så ligger vi 2. Bara vicka in är bra också, typ en... Vi kan ju spela clean. Eller sarg. Alltså vad sa du? 11 eller sarg. Alltså, kan även vicka och få lite stöd liksom. Man är alltid kvar där. Ja.
There's some overhead camera shots in the building. You see Oscar taking a look to see what the situation is, so that he has a better idea of how he's trying to hit this rock.
Ja, man kan spela clearing också, men den kommer ta ganska tunt i den, så det är frågan om den petar ner den här dit liksom. Okay.
Är det bra att peta ut den då?
Det är okej, va, eller?
So the big thing with this one is trying to make sure you get to the inside of the Yellowstone.
Det viktigaste är att vi vickar inåt så att det inte blir chappen, då har de en utsidig dubbel. Oavsett fart, lite insida.
So if you hit on the nose, you'll leave a slash double. That's what we're talking about. Need to get to the inside. Even if you were to be a little tight and just scratch the top red one in the top 8 foot, that would be okay too.
Oscar Eriksson, this looks like it's...
This is outside.
Outside.
Okay, so... Okay.
Rolled outside a few inches to make that slash double more difficult, so maybe a little bit of good fortune there. Still though, a couple of not very well played shots by the thirds right now, both Torger and Oscar.
So just a quieter weight here. Norway trying to get to the inside of this red stone.
Looking pretty good here. The line looks to be not bad, but now all the rocks down the middle are all lined in a straight line. Red will plant.
Do you want to hit that thinner, Kevin, if you could? Would that have been a better result?
Or a little, yeah, a little, well, either one or the other. Either a little thicker or a little thinner. Right now, you've left a nice pocket there. Yellow under red onto yellow. Plant it. The red one springs the yellow on the left out. And there'll be 3 reds to 1 lonely yellow.
Jag tror inte det blir något. De har frysen då. Spikrakt här antar jag, va?
Against a team like Sweden, you really have to see, okay, if I make this, what do they have?
It's always about what you're leaving them, right?
Yeah, here we go, just off the nose. It's a call.
Nej. Ligger bra tycker jag.
Oh, that worked out pretty well, I think, Kevin.
Yeah, it was the intended call. Plant the red right there. And now that lonely yellow.
Yeah, really nice shot there by Oscar, right on the nose. And that one middle red just spins right on the corner of that yellow one. And like you said, that now is a lonely yellow rock for Norway.
And lots of ways into the forefoot to score your extra point for Sweden. If you don't score a whole bunch, like right now, obviously 4 or 5 red is on the table. But even if you don't get that, you have a chance to draw for 2.
So it looks like Norway is going to play the intern draw.
Try to bury a piece around the tee line, maybe back forefoot. Get a second yellow one in there. A little bit of insurance.
A friend.
If this is made perfectly, then Team Sweden has to be careful with that yellow. This is biting the top 4. And that could be just pushed at an angle to knock out shot stone. So if this is made, this could definitely save the end.
Stefan Walstad with his first here in the second end for Team Norway. Sweden has the last stone advantage here this end.
Trying to get a bye. It's very close to clicking. It does click. So that may open up. Not too bad.
Weight was really close. Just see them trying to get it by this one at the top of the forefoot. Just rolls off. They tried to get it deeper so that maybe Nicholas wouldn't have much off of it.
Bra vi fikk den litt unna. Hadde den stoppet en stein høyre, så hadde det ikke vært optimalt.
Ja, det kan bli en tangering dock, men typ när man råkar rulla ut så petar man in den där. Men
man kan ju skjuta röd ner på röd.
Alltså touchar jag gul med en take, då är det ju... Ja, absolut. Ja, det är inte mycket plats att rulla in.
Man kan ju skjuta den här på här, då dubblar man ju gula här bak.
Ja, tror det. Borde bli drag där. Ja. Jag tror också det blir drag.
They're just seeing if that red under red under red and yellow, if they feel the yellow biting the top 4, spins through the hole. Having a good look at it, I'm not sure it does, to be honest. One thing about it, Nicholas can throw a lot of pace on these shots. Yeah, that's what they're discussing. Is it possible? Be close.
Have you picked up some Swedish over the years?
No. No, but I don't know. I wouldn't. How many times would I have played Nick? 50 times probably, so just kind of know what he's thinking.
In eller out? Out, så. Ja, det är en halv centi där då. Ja. Jag tror jag kommer kalla någon centi, men inte mycket om jag sätter den bra.
So it looks like he's going to try this straight back, or run back on the red stone.
Right on the nose. Could go across a little bit. This might be an out turn for Nick. Have a look.
This will be coming fast. Nicholas Sedin here with his first in the second end. Looks a little bit wide, Kevin.
Okay.
And he moves a bunch of stuff, spills a couple of his own, and
Okay.
I won't be overly happy with that. Just not quite on the nose.
yeah, you see here them just watching it, not curling up quite enough.
My guess. Okay.
And everything's spinning a lot more than they wanted.
Well, yes, but it's still not too bad. If an in-turn tap is played, it's an easy double for 2.
Okay.
But if Team Norway tries to come off the wall for the double, that's a hard shot. Could give up an easy 2. So
Om jeg treffer en tjukk,
they're looking at off the wall. It's a tough shot.
så får han kanskje en dobbel for 2 da, men da ser jeg for å fjerne 3 bord. Jeg tror utover.
Jeg tror dobbelen her
But the in-turn tap to lie 2 would be, no matter what you do, is probably going to give Nick an easy shot for 2.
Ja, jeg bare sier at hvis
So this one, if you can do a half rock double, then you've got your force.
Jeg tror det kommer sikkert til å stå nok rett der, tror du ikke?
Du går innifra?
60 innafra.
Jeg tror du får med halv også, ja, altså.
Ok. Tror du må være på tjukksida i hvert fall.
Try to make the double and stay right there. Nick will have an easy double back, but it's only for 1.
60.
Yeah, Norway would really like to force Sweden to only a single this end.
Especially the way it looked about 2-3 rocks ago. No question.
Ja.
Stefan Walstad with his last here in the second end. Trying to eliminate these 2 Swedish stones.
This is curling a lot off the line, though. A little surprised playing that turn, but curled quite a lot.
And this will leave Nicholas Edin with a pretty simple shot here for 2 points in the second end.
Sopa det i första omgången. Ja, precis. Ja, det är en del för oss på dynan då.
So just an in-turn bump weight.
Hålla ut den lite. Okej. Bara rent. Bra fart. Bra fart. Ja. Japp. Rent. Håll igång.
Last stone here.
No problem at all. Good throw.
And that is a score of 2 for Nicholas Edin and Team Sweden here in the second end at the World Men's Championships from Calgary, Alberta.
Hade kunnat fått ett bättre resultat. Det hade kunnat blivit sämre också.
På linan.
Men det är ändå...
Det är mer lika. Jag tycker de andra
Så att han hade gjort en lite tjock.
Det var ju mer som att...
Och så tryckt ner den någonstans i bakkant. Det är klart det kunde ha lagt sig så att det, skulle man göra dubbeln via den så kunde man riva med den. Känns som att det ska det slide. Okej, den är hård just nu tycker jag.
Ja, det tycker jag också.
Känns tight. Okej, vi försöker lägga en bra höjd ändå. Känns tight. Topp 8-4. Bra höjd bara.
Känns 4 nu.
Ja. Här någonstans kommer det. Ja. Så kanske bara sitta så jag inte kallar bort mer. Okej. Jag skar ett rejält i handen. Ja, bra fix.
Welcome back to Winsport Arena here in Calgary, Canada. You're watching the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. Here we are in the third end of this game between Norway and Sweden. Sweden just scored 2 points in the second end. And now we see Team Norway with the last stone advantage here in the third. Pretty interesting end last end, Kevin. It looked like could have been a bundle for Sweden at one point.
And actually, without a bit of a miss, like there was only a half rock double. Pretty makeable shot to get the force, but it either curled a lot, that double of Stefan's, or kind of helped it a little bit off release and ended up hitting too thick, giving Nick a fairly easy shot. So now the corner guard goes up, and it's time for Team Norway to try to apply some pressure.
Okay. Tyckte
I think they're playing to tap this. They can see a little bit of it.
Sure, especially the way it curls on this intern side. Not by the guard, though, I don't think.
Okay. Rätt där.
That intern going away or on the odd ends definitely curls a lot on sheet where we are here on sheet Delta, sheet D.
Sweden will try to replace their guard here.
And now with the biter on the side, they want the guard a little bit closer now. No need to have this long.
Ja, kanske. Oskar. Precis framför. Oskar. Kommer definitivt över linan. Kommer nu. Järnet. Fått en kant.
Doesn't quite curl enough. So another opportunity there for Norway. As we take a look at an update here between Netherlands and Canada. Canada skip Brendan Botcher here with a chance for 2 in the second end.
Yeah, Team Netherlands actually made a really nice one on the skips last to force Brendan to thread the needle a bit here on this one with an in-turn tap for 2.
Yeah, and they start to try to make it curl here just to make sure. Nice touch here by Botcher, and that'll be a 2 for Canada on the board as they head to the third end.
We won't very much weight. Yeah. I'm worried about Harvey. It was perfect.
And over to sheet C, an update here between Denmark and Jong Yong-suk.
Thinking that if he could hit this really on the very edge, this is a shot for 4, cannot hit it too thick. And that's exactly what happened. Hitting that a lot thinner, could have bounced them around and got 4, but has to settle for a single, 1-0 for Korea.
We come back over to our game here on sheet D.
Team Norway taking on the straight back double actually on the last one and miss it, well, by a fraction, and leaving shot stone and the biter on the side. So Sweden trying to kind of lock that area up a little bit now.
Helt okej fart. Linjen är okej. Gott om plats just nu. Lite vid. Bra fart. Bra linje. Lite mjuk. Japp.
Rasmus is a 2-time world champion, 3-time European champion.
That's that same in-turn spot. We'll see that all game. It really comes off, but halfway down the sheet tends to really kind of buckle. The rock tends to go a little bit there.
Tycker du sätter den där bra ut. Jag tyckte också jag satte den bra. Ja, jag tyckte mer aktiv.
Karik actually, after the practice before this event started, sheet D, this sheet curled quite a lot towards the crowd, away from the middle of the building. But the ice makers...
You mean the cardboard cutouts?
Yes, the very loud and boisterous cutouts. And the ice maker, Greg Wasko, has been working on it. It's far better than it was as far as level, but still goes a little bit more towards the crowd.
Japp, japp.
Norway really working this one to keep it straight and get it by. That's tight yellow guard. And they just get it by. Good sweeping. See Vaberg really working on that. We'll see Sweden follow them down, try to make same shot.
Yeah, with the kicker on the side, that slight biter. Doesn't have to be too fancy here. The four stone, they're not the ones in the middle. It's the one way over on the side. That's the important one to Team Sweden, if they can get this by. Very nice. So you noticed that rock didn't curl a lot hog line in. All of that big intern curl is halfway down the sheet. Most times a breaking point, every sheet of ice has a breaking point. That's usually maybe a meter or two in front of the hog line. But in this case, this sheet's different. It's about halfway down the sheet where the curl comes. And then hog line in, it doesn't finish a lot. So it's kind of got it's a little bit of character of its own.
Well, and have you noticed the 4 foot line maybe has an effect there as well? I think that there was a couple of times earlier in the week, I noticed some teams get caught on the 4 foot line. It curls quite a bit, I guess, with the draw, but the 4 foot line seemed to be trickier. Have you noticed that at all, Kevin?
I haven't, but I'll pay attention to it. It wouldn't be much on this intern side going away because it just goes like crazy. But it could on the other. We'll have a look at the edge of 4 foot.
Ja, det borde vara bra.
Liksom tiddragningen då.
Precis.
Upp till 7.
Men inte så jättemycket framåt. Men
Lägg en kvast, med på linje. Och 4 lite åt det tajta. Bra fart. Om ni kan så vore det bra. Ja, behöver gå. Ja, behöver gå. Bra fart. Yes! Måste gå. Järnet på garden. Järnet! Bra fart.
This one's really moving as well. Are they going to get it by? Not quite.
Fortsätt på det så djupt det går.
Trying not to leave a double. Does get far enough.
Lite greppigare.
Ja, jag håller med. Som att den bör sätta sig som förra matchen. Det är lite mer grepp. Man kan inte bara börja styra den, för då känns det som den greppar lite grann. Fan, det är lite så här.
Torger's coming down the sheet. Have a look at this, the angles involved. That yellow rock is placed so nicely on the inside corner of the red. You could play off the yellow or play off the red. Two choices.
Hvis du ikke gjør den, så ruller den tilbake, så...
Du er god, du tar en dobbel etterpå. Du får en dobbel etterpå.
Okay, greit.
What do you like, Kevin?
Well, I agree with Torger. You know, that's where this really helps to have a person with experience. Let's pretend that Torger rolls behind the center guard. What's Nick going to play? Probably a run back. If you don't make it, it's a hit to lie 3. If you're right behind the yellow tight guard. So
Whereas if you played the double, your rock is wide open.
both are. Both are wide open. So you could get 2, but you're never going to get 3. This brings 3 into play. So very good call by Torger, and that's not a big surprise. Excellent player, lots of experience.
You can see it in his shoes. They look like they've been around for a long time.
Magnus.
Trying to get the roll behind the center.
Hard.
Not quite enough roll. Still underneath a little bit. Now keep in mind that yellow stone is not far from the house. So if by chance things progress, that rock is splittable for 2. So Nick's got to be a little careful not to roll out.
Kan potensielt bli jævlig flat da. Nå, 2 steiner over. Kanskje den går andre der?
Ja, det kan også være.
Ja, precis.
So first of Skip stones here in the third end. Nicholas Edin trying to play a soft hit and roll.
Det är lite mjukt tror jag.
Ligger okej. Lite mjuk. Japp, japp. Japp, japp. Hårt, hårt. Hela vägen. Någon av er går på picken. Kom igen, kom igen, kom igen, kom igen. Bra där.
Bra ihop. 11-8. Bra snack.
Sitting 2. Now this late in the end, you may see a double attempted. One or the other. There's actually 2 doubles. You can come off the red or come off the yellow.
Ja, du gjør det, men du har vel en mer åpen situasjon, har du ikke det?
Så ruller her nå, hva ser du da?
Ja, hvis du gjør rulla, så. Hvis du ikke gjør det, så drar han hit.
Det tror jeg kan gjøre. De leder, de kommer til å slå.
Ja, men hva skal han slå på da?
Den?
Ja, da kan han spille den etterpå for sitt 2 da.
Ja.
Det tror ikke han lar oss
Ja,
gjøre.
det kommer til å slå rulle da.
What, of course, Team Norway has to be careful of is no matter what shot you choose, you don't want to leave a double back, or else that side biter is the force stone, which is what we talked about the whole time.
Hvis du dytter den her bort hit da, så er det en rygg for den å spille den dobbelen inn i.
I sort of like coming off the yellow myself.
I was just going to ask you which one you preferred.
Because if you come off the red to make the double, the yellows are pretty close together.
Hvis du vil gjøre den, så spiller du den, Stefan. Det er helt greit.
You have to get shot rock off of this, or else Nico draws the button.
Again, it's like you mentioned earlier, talking about what you're leaving. What kind of shot you're leaving for Nicholas.
I hølet her er greit da.
Ja, dobbel.
Første tanken min nå.
Ja, litt å stoppe på her, ikke?
Jo, jo. Pluss at hvis jeg bare dytter den bortover også, så vil den ligge høyere. Da er ikke dobbelen så lett til å spille den.
Ok. Out.
Tjukkall.
Ja, out hand.
Hæ?
Out hand.
Ja.
So playing an out turn, and the reason for that is with an out turn, the rock is already spinning in a counterclockwise direction. So when it makes impact, it'll jump a little bit easier because it's a very flat double. Whereas if you throw an in turn, yes, the hit and roll will be flatter, but it's not as lively.
Less momentum.
You've got to hit a lot harder to make the double.
Ja.
Might have turned out with his fingers on release. Have to really hold this one to get it. No, that was just release again. Just got that one started. See it come out of his hand.
Now you see the 2 teams looking at who's shot on that third shot on the outside.
Let's have a look at this coming out. Watch his hand, top, and you just see with his middle finger, just kind of caught the back of the handle and got that started a little bit. Now, if it does stay, everybody's having a good look at who's got the bigger biter. Didn't roll to too bad of, or I guess squished. The roll was to the side. It's not an easy out-turn bump.
Yeah, it's hard to see who's shot there, especially when they're on the outside with the camera angle. It's sometimes difficult.
Makes a big difference too, because if it is red, then Nick can afford to play the out-turn bump. If it's yellow and he plays the out-turn bump and doesn't get the yellow out of the rings, it's a double for 3.
Han kommer ju ha den här troligtvis. Vart vi än lägger den, men
Jag hade asmycket curl när man tog mitt 12, men kant 12, då var det bra. Då hängde det nästan lite.
jag tror de var tar lite mitt emellan
So, with all of that in mind, Nick's playing the in-turn come around to the button.
Det känns ju som att ändå tar röd först.
Cannot afford to come too deep though, or may set up a potential triple on the reds
Vart går guld då?
to
Den
get
går
3,
inte ner hit.
to give up 3.
Därför jag funtar på om det är bättre att ha den djupt.
Precis, man
Right
ändå
there.
så här.
Then the red won't go under the red no matter what, because the yellow's in the way. So,
Jag tror nästan
top
djupt.
button.
Ja.
Okej.
Eller?
Ja, jag är på det. Alltså, det är inte en jättelätt dubbel.
Alltså ska han träffa den här, han måste ju ändå...
Även om man kommer ner djupt.
Det är inte mycket för tjockt här så är det stulen.
what they're just talking about now.
Hellre det än att det är en öppen chapp för 2.
Ja, precis.
Det
Jag tror
känns
det
som
var
att ifall
viktigt
vi
att komma
lägger den här,
runt. Är vi bite bak 4 är det rätt okej
då kan
ändå.
man göra liksom via våran
Men
rätt lätt.
försöker lägga topplock.
Ja, topplock. Vi lägger den bra.
So top button, in-turn draw. Nicholas Edin here in the third end. This is his last stone of the end. trying to put a little bit of pressure on Norway.
Okej, linje.
It's been an interesting end again.
Corner. Lite kort. Topp 4. Topp 4. Vi är i cornern.
This looks a little
Ralle.
bit wide. Needs to get past the guard.
Ooh.
Och steka dem.
Doesn't.
And this, I think this is shows you now why they didn't maybe hit Kevin, because I don't think that there's really a double here. Is that fair to say for Norway? Like they don't have a double onto the,
Well,
because
it's very thin. Yeah, it'd be an extremely difficult double if you miss it. And they don't know who. I'm not sure if anybody knows who's actually has the biggest biter. So make sure of your two. Hit this right on the nose, and then maybe measure.
last rock here in the third end. Stefan Walstad for Norway, trying to make a hit for at least 2 here. This is really moving. Lots of house to roll to, though. Nice quiet weight. 2 for sure for Norway. I think they're going to take a second look at this third shot.
Measure.
And they will indeed call out an official to do a measurement.
Well, especially when they're across the entire house, because if the center button, the little hole in the middle, is out by 2 millimeters on one side, it's 4 on the other. So it can be a lot different when they're across the house. So even if it's close, it's worth putting a stick on. You just never know. Now, of course, the ice makers do a very good job of putting the houses in at a world championship, of course.
It's a lot more precise than it was maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Or at your local curling club.
Yes, that too.
Trust you.
You can trust me.
And all the ice makers that just heard that. What are you talking about, Kevin?
It's a beer in the bar.
Our houses are perfect.
Can't quite see the measurement on there.
No, it's the umpire's
Umpire's
head.
Looks like red.
So
So that will be 2 for Norway here in the third end, to make it a tie game after 3.
Ja, sternen din rullen som gjorde det. Fire. 3. Ta den inn, da. Nære. Det er bra. Markus inn. Jeg tror den er jævlig nære. Liten overkøll. Nesten bare la han sitte. Bra det.
Welcome back here to Winsport Arena in Calgary, Canada, for the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. As we watch Sweden and Norway in a tie game heading into the fourth end here.
Bra linje. Lite vid fortfarande.
12-8.
Känns vid, känns vid.
Christopher playing strong all week so far. Every game that see him, he's over 90, 91 average, so very strong.
Du har det.
Mike 4 nu.
Japp. Ja, bra.
Been pretty interesting. Other than the blank in the first end, these last couple of ends, Kevin, have been pretty interesting.
Very interesting. A lot of really good shots made.
Japp. Ner.
Litt myk. Myk
Japp.
vann.
Japp. Torger. 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 Vær snill.
Taking you over to sheet A here for an update. Netherlands with last stone here in the third end as we watch Wouter Huskins, the last stone thrower for this Netherlands team. Playing a shot here for 2 points to tie up the game.
Yeah.
I float. Skinny.
Floated this one a little bit, he thought.
Yep, skinny.
Onto the, very nice shot. Across the top, that's 2 points. Well thrown. He thought he might have floated that a little bit, but nope, nice shot, well done.
A tie game we have on sheet A. Marcus Højberg.
Pointer 4. Torgersen.
Trying to lock the corner freeze in
Japp, linje.
on the Swedish stone in the top 8.
Har litt plass, faktisk. Linja
Does not want to be heavy. Click off the red, you want to stay on the corner of it.
Marcus.
Nicely done. That's exactly what happened.
15-1, hadde 14-9.
11.
There is a little bit of air between the two yellows, so Rasmus can maybe get a little bit of an inside roll behind the overlapped situation in front.
Good numbers there for Rasmus so far this week. This team is usually fairly consistent top to bottom, Kevin.
Yeah, usually in big championships, you'll see Team Sweden somewhere near the top overall percentage as a team.
Bra fart. Bra. Rent. Linja er bra. 11. Hold da. Torger. Har
Trying to get a little more curl here. This one's hanging a bit though.
Yeah, calling for Torger to try to sweep this over.
Greit. 10-5.
Not too bad of a result. Not sure what Nick will do here. Could play an out turn and just bump the yellow a little, sit in the pocket. That'd be pretty good.
Hva tycker ni? Dra ut på kanten.
Det eller någon typ av split på den här.
That's another choice.
Känns
You just have to make sure you roll the
bara.
shooter far enough to not give a double.
Vi kan dra en där, gör de någonting, jagar de den här
Yeah, try
alltså. Ja, kan vi alltid slå dubbeln där i alla fall. Ja, jag gillar full åtfot i bakkant, här vore nice. Ja, så länge den där inte är i spel, men.
So deciding to draw to the open side here.
Well, the split is a great call if you can manage to hit it thin enough to roll to where Rasmus is trying to throw this draw.
Det var lite framme.
But such a difficult shot. This is far easier way to get there, so I think this is the right call.
Glider på.
Ser ut att vara
Linjen är
rätt
bra.
bra.
Into the back 8 foot, it's a call.
Ja,
Lite hård.
då.
Tror inte vi kommer vara bättre än de gula. 14-2. Ja, bra. Fint. Alltså.
Didn't even need help.
No, and it is second shot. Well done.
Yep.
Torger, a little bit lower numbers, I think, for Torger.
Ja, gå.
Vær med, Magnus! Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay.
Good shot. Wanted the roll in behind all the rocks on the top of the house, but that's a long roll, tough to do. Shot stone.
Höger 11. Ja, håll igång. Ja.
Oscar right around 90%, just where he normally is.
Yeah, that was
Where he's
where he
standing.
always is, where he
Yeah.
lives.
And that's where he lives. You know what? The neat part is that's where he lives in four-person curling. That's also where he lives in mixed doubles.
Yes.
And that is really tough to do. Obviously, you don't have as much sweeping and so on in mixed doubles because there's only two of you. And it throws those numbers there as well.
Linja bra. Liklös.
So trying to roll behind here, Kevin?
Linja, okej.
Väldigt bra.
12.
Yeah, trying to
12.
hide one into the...
Ja.
There's quite a bit of room to roll to now.
Ja, ja, ja. Whoa,
Japp,
whoa,
japp, japp, japp.
Oh, it looks really good.
Really nice.
12 blank. Vad tog vi?
Good shot by Torger.
That was the only problem earlier on in the end with not playing either a slight bump on the yellow to
Och så länge man får träff och den kommer bort så
loosen
är det
the
inte
red one,
jätterisk
or to
att
play the
slå den i
split
alla
that
fall
Nick
inte
liked.
given dragen för dem
Because
att göra
now
här,
the
liksom.
hit and roll is made and you don't have a run back
Ja, 2/3
on the middle
Vi-
two.
Nästan en flisa tjockare än 2/3, men 2/3
So you
kommer
may
rulla i
try
alla
the
fall.
double yellow. Now, of course, if this is missed and the in-turn draw goes to the top button, Norway would have a huge advantage.
Vida. Andra vägen.
Oh, and he stuffed it. Left it right there on the back of the button.
Yeah, rocks overlapped in front. There's no run back available. So just a difficult shot and just missed.
Ja, bra. Dubbelclearingar var det.
Dubbelpiller, tror jag.
Now, it did sneak far enough that the in-turn bump is available later in the end. So this will have to be a good guard thrown on the left-hand side as we're looking at it on the center line to block that in-turn bump for Nicholas.
Jag tror förbi egen är bättre.
Okej.
3. Ja. For da går liksom dobbeltkliringa inn i huset i stedet for at han bare får en gratis en lenger opp der.
Hvor på linje vil du ha nå?
Halvstein luft til linja, eller akkurat bit linja er bra.
Ok.
First of skip stones here in the fourth end of a tie game.
2. 1,5, 2.
Stefan trying to throw a guard
Bra,
here.
Gå for linje.
Linja bra.
Ett tight.
Linja bra.
Sounds like the line is
Får jeg
tight.
litt, eller?
Nei, linje.
Nei, ok, bare dø. Bare dø, bare dø. Bare dø.
Over curling a little bit long too, I think, Kevin.
I don't think the in-turn, well, the in-turn tap might be there, maybe. Certainly the draw to the buttonhole that is available, I think. Yes, it is, just barely. is certainly available.
Ideally, I think Norway would have wanted that over a little bit, though. Would you
Kommer
agree?
upp åtminstone en halv frysa vid skottet.
Yes, a little
Jag tror
bit.
mitt 12 med
Absolutely.
vanlig sättning borde vara okej på mig där.
Move that over maybe a width of a rock, and Team Sweden will be running something back to try to open
Bra
it up.
spår här.
Ja. Hur är den jämfört med den jag drog? Den på 0?
Ungefär samma.
Ja.
Spelar du samma så borde det vara okej.
Känns lite lös.
Lite mjuk sats också. Kör.
Kör. Känns topp 12! Ja! Järnet! Nära 12!
Sounds light. I think they yelled top 12. It's a lot lighter than
Yeah, this is definitely,
Japp, japp, japp.
and on the guard as well.
Blocka dragningen kanske.
Ja, bra där. Okej.
Nick not too happy with that.
So maybe an in-turn tap available.
Tror jag kan ha
There's certainly an angle raise available now. Red onto shot stone. But,
Ja, men står skala här
it'd
så
be
har
smart
det
to
rundbacken då.
be worried about. And you've got Nick filling the last one.
Yeah, and they are looking at that. They're pointing that out as an option that Nick has right now.
Yeah, so Nick's got two ways in my view. You've got the in-turn through the hole tap shot rock for 2, and you've got the angle raise for 2. So what do? You could try to throw a corner freeze on the top red. Difficult.
Jag syns den kan få den där.
Ja, så.
Looks like they're going to throw a guard of some sort here.
Well, definitely guard the hole. That would be the easiest shot. But the angle raise, you see Nick make a lot of those. It's a little worrisome, but they may be trying to throw the corner freeze on the top red, and if it overcurls a bit, you guard the hole.
För hårt eller?
Nej,
Tror det är bra jag också.
Ja, jag tror speciellt om den tar så att den kan rulla av, då kommer den att nudda gul och bara... Jag tror inte den kan gå ut.
Ja, det känns. Lite strammare shot, men linja okej.
Last stone for Norway here in the fourth end.
Försiktig med linja. 2.
Ja, vi må köra lite grann.
Bak köle.
Köra lite grann, gutter.
Marcus.
Just guarding the hole.
Marcus, begynner jobba bägge två. Ned den.
You can definitely guard both by just overcurling a half stone. May have just overcurled a touch. There might be the angle raise. Yes, there is. So if that rock would have stayed straight a little bit more, it would have taken away both. But now there is a shot.
Ganska nära 2/3 om den ska få träff på röd alltså.
Extremely difficult.
Ja.
Probably play this with board weight so that if it does over, I think he's going to play this with the outturn, I would think. You play that with an outturn, then the rock you're hitting comes in with an in-turn. So you'll go cross face, and that gives us a better chance of making this shot. So as long as Nick doesn't over-curl this and take his own red out, that's the worry. Outturn.
Bra fart. Yep. 10-0.
Last rock here in the fourth end. Sweden trying to make an angle run back for 2 points here. It's really curling.
That was the concern.
Ooh.
Steal of 2.
Big steal of 2 for Norway here in the fourth end. 2 misses by Niklas Edin.
2 yellow.
Yeah, maybe keep this one a little bit straight coming in, and certainly the worry of overcurling there.
Now Norway takes the lead 4-2 after 4.
Ja, de har fått lägga enkla sten den här omgången. Eller ja, de sätter ju en bra vick. Så missar jag dubbeln också, men... 7, mest fart.
6.
Okay. Liten overkøll, men det torker sin.
7.
Okay.
6 kanskje?
Jeg setter litt når vi kommer over her.
Oi, plukk igjen. Ja, spill. 14 blank, jeg.
14-1 nå.
Den var litt lenger.
Ja.
Welcome back here to the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship for 2021.
40, ja.
Sweden and Norway here in session 8. Big steal of 2 for Norway in the 4th end for them to take a 4-2 lead. It's not very often, Kevin, that I don't think that Nicholas and Adin's team would give up a steal of 2 or steals at all.
Not very many steals at all, and I think Nick looks back at that end. He left those 2 overlapped rocks in the top 8 early when he could have dealt with it, and I think that he'll think about it and go, maybe I should have just bumped them around a little bit, or the split. He looked at the split to open it up as well. That would have left an easy double on the yellows in the front, if need be at later date. So that kind of cost him a little bit there.
Plus he missed both of his shots too, which never helps.
Right, the freeze to the button hole, but that's not very easy. And the last one, of course, was very difficult. But yes, yeah, always interesting. We'll have to battle back now. Corner guard thrown. There'll be a few rocks in play now.
Linje ser okej ut.
Kanske kort.
Tight. Ja. Okej, linje. Okej. Lite tight. Känns lite tight. Okej, fart. Lite tight. Men frys insida okej också, men känns tight. Frysa halv insida nu. Japp.
Liten dutt.
Okej. Det är bra.
Han där drog
Nice freeze there by
tidigare
Christopher.
curlen min i alla fall. Ja. Känns som det är lite runt 12-foten här. Det är bra. 4. Ingen bounce med linjer.
Ja, vi är där.
Linja bra. Rent fart. Linja bra nu. Bra fart. 5. Litt lang. 4 bra. Linja guld till frys.
Ja, vi vill inte gå.
Rent hvis du kan.
They're moving in there now. That's that spot you were talking about a couple ends ago, Kevin, how much it curls there.
If the weight's right, it'll move, yes. Absolutely. Good shot.
Update here over on sheet A. Netherlands and Canada in a 2-2 tie.
That biter right there, that was Brendan Botcher's first draw to split the rings. And the guys left it. They're tiptoeing all the way beside it, knowing it was close. Netherlands swept as hard as they could, and it hung on by a half an inch. So this is an intern hit. Intern hit for 2. Sometimes they dig in their toenails to hang on to the back of the house, and sure enough.
And the Netherlands takes a double look at it.
Well,
2 for Canada. And they
maybe
take
it's not even a half an inch. Maybe it's even less.
and it will be 2 and a 4-2 lead for Canada heading into the 5th end. Yeah, I've said before, Kevin, it's not usually good when your sweepers are running beside a stone.
When you can't keep up to a draw?
Yes, when you can't keep up to a draw.
You're right. That was a nice shot.
Yeah, just wicked off that corner guard and worked out not bad.
A little bit fortunate.
Vet det var rakt den gick.
Ja, lite.
Jag liker, tror jag.
Ligger det.
Ooh, 2-point lead.
Ligger bäst den första egentligen.
Torger.
And that's we talked about that experience with Torger, and
Torger's a really nice person, so he wasn't going to say anything till he had to. We can play the Rays.
Marcus Hoiberg.
Looks like a good throw. Oh, very good. Left the yellow right in front of the red. Good situation. Good shot. It's much different if that yellow rolls off one way or another, but to absolutely stick it right there. Ah, terrific shot. You can bump that anytime you want. Really good. And then own the middle of the house. Terrific. Trying for a little roll in here to lie 2. That may set up a pretty easy raised double, though.
Yeah, almost on the nose.
And that's the trouble part when you're playing in such a condensed house, trying to squeeze all the rocks into the 4-foot. Any slight error at all and you leave a double. Right on the nose.
Torger near guard. Try to make the Reds go away.
Right on the nose, looks pretty close. A little off center right now. Perfect. Good shot.
Just like that.
This will be interesting. So trying to hit. I'll show the replay here. Just a really nice shot by Torger. That was set up. It was set up to make the thrower look good.
That's thanks to his second for setting it up for him.
But now this one, trying to hit and roll behind the red corner and then have the yellow go around the horn and out the side door. I'm just wondering if the shooter will get in the way of the yellow escaping if this roll is made. It would have. Good shot.
Opens it up a little bit for Sweden. Has the last stone draw here in this end.
Opens it up, but a force is certainly a possibility due to that terrific run back by Højberg. That was the end changer so far.
Ja. Der da.
Ja, jeg liker det. Jeg liker det. Mye, eller? Du kan ta litt mindre også.
Mellomtingen, tror jeg.
Ta litt mindre da. Hvor er det fint her?
14-5.
Ja, setter litt.
Out-turn draw here around the guard, the yellow guard. It's just off the center line.
Den er bra. Rent.
Nærere.
Ja. 5-6. Vent på linje. Er plass. Ingen linje. 5-6.
I want to make sure this buries, otherwise you allow the hit and roll behind the corners.
Yeah, I wondered, I think they briefly looked at the intern, Kevin, but that's the one you were talking about curling so much.
It'd be hard to take enough ice. You'd have to be out there on the carpet. Well, yeah, I was just going to say it might set up a freeze, and Nick, he jumped in there awful quick. So try to corner freeze here.
Lite grann, inte mycket. Så typ. Ja.
Oscar Eriksson trying to follow him down.
Känns helt okej. Topp 4-10. Bra linje tror jag. Hänger lite. Liten dutt. Hänger. Hälsingen, bak 4.
Looks like quite a bit of weight. It starts to curl. It might die in the top house. It's trying. Ah, very nice. Good shot. Right in there on the angle.
On his own. No sweepers.
That red corner guard is a problem for Nicodine, trying to get to that other side of the button. If this freeze is made, eventually you may have to draw for 2, but there's no room for it.
En kost mindre enn Torger, liksom. Så Sara jobber på. Ja. 14-5, egentlig. 14-4. Ja. Han sa det føtesplatt der, eller?
Norway coming down this path again, out-turn draw, sit right on top of the Swedish red stone. Norway wanting to force Sweden to only a single point here.
Linja bra. Vent på linje. Linja bra, Torger. 6-7. 7.
Ja, vi ser 6-7. 7. Hard på linje da. Hard. Limet på. Hard.
They're really going to have to go to get it there.
Litt til.
Pretty well swept.
Bit of an over curl, I think, Kevin. Just a
little,
touch.
definitely. A little bit light, so it over curled.
Here, we'll update. Next door on sheet C, Denmark and Korea. Korea looking for their first win. Pretty open situation here.
Yeah, it's been a really good game so far. They've went back and forth. It's been real tight, but an opportunity to sort of break open the game a little bit here for Team Korea with an out-turn tap for 2. It looks no problem at all. Good shot. No, a 3-1 lead going into 6.
Det är nästan att ta den där och rulla iväg lite tycker jag.
Jag tror det.
Ja, försöka inte ta tjockt så att man lämnar tangeringen, men då kanske gul kan stanna kvar där.
Tillräckligt tjockt så att man stannar kvar här om det går med något mjukare.
Ja, det känns som man träffar här.
Ja, det kanske man gör.
What do you see here, Kevin? How do you think Nicholas set something up here
Kanske till och med
for
okej och
För att få den fritt behöver du nog
multiple
ta
score.
tunnan en 60 skulle jag säga.
Playing back 4-foot weight right there and tap and roll a little bit.
Det
It's
känns som att man
probably a
vill
good
ligga
call.
kvar med slagstenen bättre än den
Either
gula.
try to tap and roll the center line right there. That's what I like. That's my favorite. But if you happen to have it hang a little and you roll all the way to T-line, not bad because the other team has to be very careful to not give you a double for 3.
Där vi dock får ut en ända dit och känns så.
Either one of those choices,
Om
wonderful.
man tar den fast
My
rullar
opinion.
ner bakom 10 kan vara okej.
Behöver
Fart
inte bli en
igenom.
tangering eller. Tappar man den hit så är det nästan en chapp för att få bort båda.
Ja, så då är den riktigt svår för dem.
Ja.
Om man
Då drar han
tappar
väl
den
den här
bara.
igen.
Ja, men alltså
hon
vi
ligger
ligger
kvar.
kvar där mitt för här.
Ja. Ja, vi provar det här då. Så då är det okej. Försöka tappa den hit.
What's the discussion about here, Kevin? Just about where exactly they want to roll?
Well, they're talking about the potential double, and so the idea is if you throw back 4, you only bump it beside the red, and then if you roll a little far, it doesn't matter because the red won't go anywhere.
Halvträff tror jag okej
You've
faktiskt,
kind of
men vi
blocked
behöver nog
it
bak
with the other
4.
yellow.
Bak 4, bak. Nästan bak 8.
So I believe that's what they've come up with, which is my favorite, definitely. Right. That one right there. Exactly. And
Thank you, Oscar.
yes, perfect. So back 4-foot weight, tap the yellow beside the red, and then roll to the center line. That way you've either got a tap for 2 or the angle raise the red one on the tee above the house. You can have it go in for 3. Well thought out.
First stone here for Nicholas Edin.
Bra fart. Bra linje. Lite upp.
So lots of weight.
Bak 8. Rent. Bra fart. Bra fart.
He's hanging out there a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit heavy.
Bak 12. Bak 12.
There it
Bak
goes.
12.
Now it's moving.
Lite upp. Lite upp.
Wow, ingenting.
Really close.
Right beside it.
Bra så.
Beautiful.
Okej.
Exactly what he called.
Bra snack.
Did roll a touch far, wanted it to split center line. It did roll a little bit far, left a nose hit now. That'll make the deuce very difficult. So not exactly perfect, but close. You can imagine if the rock were splitting center, a nose hit doesn't do it.
Han kommer til å ha noe uansett, Torger. Han som har drept en sted. Det er samme vanten som jeg spilte for 2 ganger siden.
Okay.
Samme vanten som jeg spilte for 2 ganger siden.
Ja.
It's a nose hit here for Stefan Walstad. Trying to make it difficult for Sweden to score 2.
Yeah, right on the nose will block the draw path.
Will this force Sweden to look at that wide in-turn draw, Kevin, if it's even there?
Oh, well, it's there for sure. Just have to take lots of ice. Get out there wide. Want to make sure you nose this, though. So that opens up the
Out-turn draw.
the out-turn draw, so Nick will be much happier about that. and Stefan not so much.
Litt løs.
Just need to hold this one a little bit more, and this yeah, I just need to hold that up a little bit more, but hog line in, it certainly goes there.
Ja, den var nog bak 12 nästan, så 83 kan nog stämma.
Alltså, cornern är i spel.
So draw to
Så är det
full
minsta
4
lång
foot.
eller något, då kan vi nog inte hålla igång med i början.
Ja.
Men så fort man passerar den, då borde det vara lugnt.
Ja.
Last stone here in the 5th end. Sweden leading
Bra fart. Helt okej.
solid chunk of the 4 foot
Håll linjen. Hålla igång. Känns tight som något.
for 2 points here to tie the game.
Farten är okej.
Kör då, vi har.
Bra fart. Farten är där.
Bara
Line looks
farten.
pretty good.
Behöver rygg faktiskt.
Okej, lugn då.
14.16 hog to hogs. That should be in the ballpark as long as there's a little bit of backing. And there is. 2 points. Good end.
And we have a tie game at 4 between Sweden and Norway after the 5th end, going into the 5th end break. So we're going to take a look at some highlights here from the first half of our game here in the 2nd end. And it was building up at one point to be a bundle for Team Sweden.
Yeah, Stefan Walstad on his last actually tried a half rock double off the side, but ended up nosing the rock and gave Nick a pretty easy hit for 2 to open it up.
And then we go to the 3rd end. This was an interesting end, and it ended up being a hit for 2, but there was a question about whether or not.
Yeah, the biters around the outside, they weren't sure who had the bigger biter, so they ended up measuring, but it ended up being 2.
And to the 5th end.
And this would have been much more difficult had Stefan Walstad nosed on his last one, but ended up rolling a little bit to the right as we look at it, opening up the outturn draw for Nicholas Edin. This is a beautiful spot in the ice right here, the way the rocks finish, and no problem at all. And that ties up the game. Good first 5 ends.
And checking out scores in the other sheets. Playing the 6th end, Canada with 4-2 lead over Netherlands. Scotland up 6-1 over China, playing the 6th end. And next door, Korea looking for their first win and currently has a lead over Denmark by a score of 3-1. And our feature game, tie game at 4.
Jag tycker också att det kändes som att typ en sån grej som du sa i andra omgången. När det var så här, ja vi kan spela den här stenen, men det känns som att curlar man lite för mycket, ja då klickar man i och så blir det läge för dem. Så spela den skjutningen kanske inte ger ett lika bra resultat om man sätter den, men det är mindre risk. Det kändes rätt i det läget tyckte jag. Det är en typisk sån grej som är bra.
Oflyt i fjärde att den verkligen
Ja, dödjämade.
Bare fortsett å presse på det her. Bare
Muligheter til begge lag.
Ja. Du får litt oddebom fra dem, egentlig. Sånne overraskende bom. Så sliter litt med farta og retning virker som på dragninger. Har ikke vært helt opp til standard. Hæ?
We'll take a look at the stats for the first half of the game here. Actually, pretty even. Not a whole lot to choose from. Total percentages for Sweden at 79% and Norway at 81. A little bit of an advantage for Norway in the hit percentage column, 88 to 81. And that big steal of 2 for Norway in the fourth end has this game tied at 4.
Färdiga, slå hårdare eller?
Jag kan ta det.
Ja. Wow! Kom med. Lugn, det kan glida på.
Efter mattan så har det kunnat glida på lite, men...
Bra linje. Hänger lite kanske. Och Garen hänger ganska vid. Kommer fint. 16-0. Garen upp på linan. Ja, bra.
Welcome back here to the Winsport Arena for the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. Starting the second half of our game here between Sweden and Norway. The sixth end gets underway after 2 points. 2 points for Sweden to tie up the game. Pretty interesting first half. I'm Jill Officer, joined here with Olympic and world champion Kevin Martin. I guess I could say the same thing when I introduce myself.
Yeah, that wouldn't be right. I was just going to say, I was going to back you up. I had you covered. But that wouldn't sound right. And oh, and by the way, yeah, I'm a champion. And yeah, that wouldn't sound right. But anyway, no, it's been a really good first half. Excellent, and the steal of 2 was what happened in the fourth end. And Norway, that I guess changed the hammer the other way. Sweden started the game with hammer, and now the second half tied up. Norway has it. So I suppose you could say in the first 5 ends that Norway has slightly had the advantage, but not much. It's been a great game.
Yeah, very interesting game too.
Playing the double guards. Shows a lot of respect for Team Sweden, for the Norwegian foursome to play the sixth end, and you're already playing double guard, so obviously respects this team greatly. It's certainly a risky call to throw 2 centers. Very nice.
Vi skottar om vi fryser den bakre.
Off to a good start
Ja,
here.
vi skottar där. Ja.
And 6.
De ligger 2 om vi lägger den, men den här känns ju inte som ett problem än så länge.
I don't think you want to play to the back one yet, Nick. That could be your out clause later. That's a bit of a mistake when you throw that draw behind the tee line. It's something Sweden can freeze to later in the end.
Ja, jag är på. Tänk att den här, om vi har bra linjer så kan man gå lite tap där också kanske, men...
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Jag är på den här också.
Yes, vi spelar den.
So freeze the back one, or if it tends to curl, you could always bump that perfect yellow one in the top 4 and bump it a little to the side. That would help as well. So kind of an either or here.
A little lower numbers here for Rasmus Rana in this game compared to what we've seen in the tournament.
Bra linje.
Lite tight om något.
Lite het. Tight.
Vi kan vänta.
Kan vänta. Liten dutt.
Ingenting om den är hård. Ingenting om den är hård.
Looks like they're going to the back one here. In the end.
That's just fine. Nice shot. Shot stone.
14-05, ja. 14-1.
Ligger tappenlös.
Igen då.
That's the danger of coming in a little heavy with your leads rocks. Sweden made a nice freeze.
Torger coming down. Talk about this situation, how they want to deal with it.
Så det ett lite jordbär inne där.
Ja, där behöver vi stå spansa vid och hämta på en fryspoäng till.
Ja, men du ser hela, eller du ser mye av den där alltså.
Norway with the last stone advantage here in the 6th end.
Ja, men se att du träffar 2/3 och akkurat sprätt
Ja, ja. Men jag tror inte det gör så mycket alltså. Ja. Du har lössnat på den bak där.
Ja, bara skri ut lite kjelle.
Ja, men hvis du gör det. Jag tror du måste lössna på den bak där.
Jag tänkte, hvis du plockar garda då, så må jag...
Det blir tight. Det blir mye samla steiner.
Ja. Jag tror det blir vanskelig å få den där ut etter hvert. Hvis vi, nå den åpen. Det siste gang han åpen I dag, kanskje da. Omgangen her.
Han må jo resten av omgangen som han guard både
What do you think the discussion is here, Kevin?
Well, this is early in the end. Tie game, you have hammer. It's pretty inviting to peel off that guard. I'm sure Torger would be leaning towards the peel. I don't understand like the language, so I don't really know. But,
of course.
But right now, I wholeheartedly agree with the peel when you're playing against Niklas Edin. Try to make sure you score. Right now, tie game. Try to make sure you score on the even end. Don't want to give up a steal.
Good numbers for Marcus Hoiberg here, outplaying Rasmus Rana.
Nice shot.
Bra, Marcus.
Would have liked to have maybe rolled a slight bit off center, but that's a really good double.
Yeah, important to get that tight one. Yes.
Definitely. And now
Känner mig inte jättesäker på taken där. Så gärna frysen. Ja. Frysen där lite kort och visa halva är väl okej också. Så länge de inte kan komma insida där.
So Nick talking about the tolerance. We tend to say tolerance. The call is the corner freeze. The tolerance is to be a little bit light of anything. Do not bounce off of this thing and be a little heavy, or else all of a sudden it kind of opens up the door for Team Norway.
Känns bra. Kanske behöver köla lite den här. Kanske inte undset. Det är bra linje. Full fyra. Bra linje. Helst inte. Lite dutt. Behöver inte. Perfekt linje för snedfrysen.
It sounds like the line's good, but it might be a little bit heavy here, and they, like you said, Kevin, don't want to chop off.
Inget dutt. Perfekt. Mycket bra. Fint. Bra, Ralle.
It curls up and comes down just in time.
Nice shot right on the corner.
Bra skött, gubbar.
Definitely hoping that thing would slow down, but it did. Nicely done.
Ja, okej. Var bak 8. Frys er okej. Om du bare dytter en stein, så er det kanskje best.
Du vil ikke prøve å tappe den ut da? Tappe den løs?
Lang guard. Ja, okej. Ja, det er det beste. Hvis du kunne ha gjort noe sånn.
Backline eller noe sånt?
Ja, det går for det. Hvis du har fått den ut av 8-foten, ja, og kommer det bort hit. Ja.
That was kind of my first thought. Play a hack weight.
Get
Rid of the red one, stay in the weeds. And as the yellows build up, so does the pressure on Team Sweden. So kind of hack weight here. Half rock on the yellow, or on the red, sorry.
Litt løs. Okej, linja er fin. Ha litt plass. Forsiktig, Magnus. Rent, linja er bra. Løs.
This is moving a lot, though. This is that out turn home, same as the in turn away. Tends to curl a lot.
Fortsett.
Good results, I think.
Well, yes, as long as Sweden doesn't make this freeze.
På teamet strax framför centrum liksom.
Bite en fot.
Bite en fot I fart.
Ja, det är ingen... Den där gula är ju mittåt-fot, så vi har meter på oss.
Det kan typ.
Ja, precis. Ungefär samma vart som på den här sidan.
If this freeze could get to the inside of the face of the yellow, then at that point, there's 2 reds that cannot be removed on the next shot. And we're getting later in the end, so this is a big one.
There's those consistent numbers we talked about with Oscar.
Lite tight. Kort. Kom igen, ni kan ha den.
Now this comes off the wall. This will curl lots. The trick will be to get by the yellow in the top 8 foot.
Fyra.
And I think it's going to overcurl.
That is just not a surprise. That spot in the sheet goes like crazy. But now what do you do? Could that's difficult, but yeah, red onto the edge of the yellow to knock the shot stone out. If you ever hit it a bit thick, you knock your own yellow out. Yikes.
Nei, det køler bøtta der. Og så passerte du med Markus sin veldig mye der. Og til og med om du skulle stryke den her.
Da burde du prøve å få litt fart på den for å få dyttet den. Men...
Ja.
Det er dårlig å ta den sent.
Tenker også hvis du...
Det er dritbra det, Torger, hvis du får til det.
Ja, kanskje det er vanskelig. Alternativet har vært å tappe den ned i lomma der selv da.
Still 4 rocks to come.
Backline.
Could certainly throw a peel on the front, bring all the play into the house. Wouldn't be wrong.
Backline?
Ja. Så glia rød?
Nei, glia den rett på en gul.
Ja, det går, Torger.
Du smøg vel ikke, gjorde du det, Markus?
Nei, god plass. Sten plass.
Jeg stopper.
Torger trying to get to the inside of this, Kevin.
Magnus!
Yeah, he's trying to get onto his own. But he's definitely onto the red. This is close to nosing the red. He's got to get across the face of it. Uh-oh. Well, at least got rid of that freeze on the back. That may help at a later date, but definitely some trouble.
Ikke den kølen til Markus. Og Haro, kanskje.
11-6.
Take you over to sheet A here for an update between Canada and Netherlands. Canada with a 4-2 lead, and Wouter Huskins here in the hack.
Yeah, Netherlands this whole end tried to get something going, but just hasn't been able to put any pressure on Canada this end. And has a very difficult in-turn cap. Just trying to move the Canada stone a few feet. But it's of course buried underneath that center guard.
Trying to make it curl. And they just get it there for a single point. And it's 4-3 Canada. Canada with the last rock advantage heading into the 7th end. And over to sheet C, Denmark and Korea. Korea with the 3-1 lead right now and looking for their first win. Last rock here with Mikael Krause.
Playing down around the corner on this one. Trying to play it to the backing, which is sometimes difficult. Wanted it to curl enough. Well, looks like it's on an edge of it.
And it will stop in time for one. And Korea still has 3-2 lead, taking the last stone advantage into the 7th end.
Linjen är bra. Bra fart för perfekt.
Bra fart.
Okej, jag tror bara stanna nu. Den har köla upp redan.
Något längre.
Måste sluta köla bara.
Bra. Bra.
Bra skött.
Ja. 40!
So an opportunity maybe here, Kevin, to get a couple of reds moving.
Yeah, try to play a half rock slash here. Try to get a little bit of action going on the back two reds. This is a little bit wide, needs to come a touch. Just got a little bit outside there. So now, it's quite the opportunity for Team Sweden. There's just not a lot. Good here, wanting to hit all they could see of this red and take it off the top of the other red and spring them both out of there. Would have opened up the forefoot a little bit.
Ska det vara lite lång så kan man ju frysa bak 8 sten. Han får dra då för att få 2, men...
Det är lite glattare nu.
Feel a little scary for Norway.
Well, Nick's got to be a little careful not to bring this rock into the top button, because you can see the red onto yellow. That would go red onto the red that Nick's throwing right now. So Nick's got to be a little careful not to put this in the wrong spot.
Kanske lite mindre, Ogge.
Not the numbers we're used to seeing by Nick. That's still a 2 that one end. He missed both of his shots.
Lite kort. Topp 4. Hårt. 10.
It's getting really tight to the Yellowstone. Tough. I don't think it's going to get by. Boy, if you could ever nose hit that red and make the double, then that's a really lonely last red. So trying to get by, coming to the back one is the plan.
Bra fart. Lite kort. Topp 4. Hårt. 10. Börjar studsa ut lite grann här. Topp 4.
Dobbelen der, jeg tenker vanlig eller noe sånt, eller? 15.
So Kevin, you're referring to the straight back double?
Yes, the red.
To clip the one on the button.
Yes, and then you've got the angle onto, at that time would be the shot red rock on the left-hand side as we look at it. There's many ways in, lots of options. It's a tough shot with the guard. It's not really in the way. It looks like that could be the call. I can't imagine they'd be playing red onto yellow slash. That would get rid of 2 reds, but you'd leave back button. If Nick ever went to the top button, you've got nothing. So nose hit, I would assume. Call. It is. Just a control weight right on the nose.
First stone here for Stefan Walstad in the 6th end.
Okay. Left the angle raise on that yellow rock to the right-hand side now, so not bad.
Lite tap på den här är okej också.
It's a lot of yellow hanging around. Nick better be careful. Right on the top of the button is the place to be. Very difficult for Team Norway to score if this is made.
Jag har ju haft typ topplock så utanför åttkant på dig.
Har vi linjen så kan vi komma ner emot. Samma is eller? Ja, jag funderar bara.
Jag tyckte jag var
väldigt tickade i gul och mitt på linan.
That would be the tolerance coming into right, frozen on the top 4.
Nästan en fot mer isen på Ralle för att komma till samma ställe.
Nu ska vi väl typ komma till det stället som du hade
kommit till. Jag tror vi har råd med lite mindre.
Men jag tänker
if you freeze to the top 4, obviously there would be an angle raise for 2.
Det gick ju för linjen på den. Men. Ja, men den låg här. Och så tickar vi, säg att den hade kommit mitt på linan.
Bättre att curla över lite.
Mitt på linan är okej väl?
Jag funderar på att ta samma is
inte om
och
vi fryser.
Lugn nu.
So talking about, I think, where exactly they want to put this. Like you said, they want to be careful.
Jag tror Ralle kan gräva dem.
As long as it's better than the one in the top 4 and not frozen to the one on the button, should be okay. That's not a lot of real estate though, just a little area to draw to.
Bättre att curla över lite här.
Jag gillar lite mindre is, så jag är aktiv. Det är bra.
Lite bättre att curla över här än att curla under.
Last stone here for Sweden.
Vänta.
Trying to put some real pressure here on Norway.
Han är hård då. Vänta bara. Bak 4. Bak 4. Bara eka. Bak 4.
Seems to have plenty of weight.
Bara eka.
Needs to curl and not stay on the corner. Uh-oh.
Disaster. There is that long guard, Kevin, up by the hog line. And typically they're not, those kind of long guards can typically not be in play. But it does certainly
Alltså det är en fotskillnad mitt på banan.
Make it a touch trick here, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to. If this back red jams exactly on the yellow, that could outcount the top 2 yellows. I'm just not sure. If this is hit on the nose, it'll be for 3 definitely. And then you have to look around the circle to see if the top 2 yellows or the back red that jams on the back yellow is better.
Wow, what a mistake though by Sweden.
Yeah, Nick's been struggling definitely with his draw weight. He's missed a few light and now heavy. And here we go.
Så förespår igen. Ja, ikke sant. Så det greit å ha den for det. Et vite. Pass også. Jeg tror på det. Ja. Ta god tid.
Big shot here for Stefan Walstad. Last stone in the 6th end, trying to make a double for a bundle.
This is out there a long ways. This is nowhere near the guard. He's going to have to finish a lot to get the double. I don't think so.
Wow.
Not a very good throw. A little bit wide, and that's a steal of 1.
Big missed opportunity there for Norway.
Nej, vet ni vilken sten det var?
Det var den första, va?
Det var den sista. Du slog ju på din första.
Jag håller med om att den första tappar ju mer fart. Sorry.
Det är bra.
Bra omgång. Där slapp de undan. Ja. Är det vi kanske?
Nej, vi gör lite.
Jag drar in
10 till 2,5.
5 minutter per. Du stemmer det.
Lite hård ut, men mjuksatt.
Ja, mjuksatt.
08.
Tycker det finns lite ek dock.
Ja.
Curlar mycket den här.
Lite överkurl eller?
Allting som kommer in. Det är som allt som kommer in lite för tidigt curlar mycket.
Bara släppa den då.
Och håller man sig där ute så kan de fortsätta jäkligt rakt. Lite så när det här vi har snackat om
När
12-fotskanten.
första då blir tajt, då sopar man ju den, så nästa kommer inte, den kommer bara krossa igenom det spåret.
Ja.
Hade inte första curlat över, då hade jag ju spelat den här.
Har du lite plats?
So welcome back here to the 7th end of this matchup between Sweden and Norway, and it's been a very interesting game. Big missed opportunity for Norway last end. They had a soft weight double for a bundle, Kevin, and just a little wide, maybe a little bit heavy, and ended up a steal of 1 for Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little wide, and definitely the heart was pounding. Had a chance to really get at least 3, maybe as many as 5 against Nicodine, and a lot of pressure when you have a shot like that against the world champ.
And you don't often get those opportunities, so you need to capitalize on them when they're there, and that just didn't happen.
Precis igenom själv.
Okej, ser ut att vara rätt
Kommer
bra.
ner, men
And Sweden up 1.
Vill inte bara eka för linje också, men linjen kommer bra. Ja, fint. Jag tycker det känns som att det sätter sig lite, så den andra stenen i samma spår känns som att den tar mer.
So we have our first final over on sheet B between Scotland and China. Scotland picks up another win to go to 4-1. Bruce Mowat and team. And Scotland remains winless. Or pardon me, China remains winless.
Plass. 6. Har mye plass. Korean. 6. OK. Må køle masse her, ellers så går jeg ned og dytter på den. Markus, da. 8. Ja.
We saw Norway go deep on their first one, and Sweden froze.
Froze? Freeze?
Froze.
Yeah, that's the right call. You have to make sure that you go to that back one. You can't afford. A lot of people, you know, they go to the back 12, back 8. The other team goes top 4. Corner froze.
At least a deuce.
At least a deuce, or even lots of threes. So Nick wouldn't fall for that and went to the back one.
Oskar, träff på det, Oskar. Oskar, ligger bra. Kom igen. Alltså, bra skip. Okej, bra. Alltså, bra koll. Bra snack.
Play the intern freeze to the back corner. If you can get this on the exact right angle, very difficult to remove. Tough shot, though. We haven't seen a lot of interns out wide here today. So it'll be a bit of a guess on line.
Magnus, rent. Magnus, rent. Yep.
Nice freeze there by Norway. We have another update for you over on sheet A, Canada and the Netherlands. Canada with the last one advantage here in the 7th end.
A really well played in by Canada here. They got that rock behind the corner guard early and basically split the house and maintained the last few rocks. And now it's an intern hit. Needs to stay for 2 after a really well played in. That's a good solid deuce there. So 2 points, 6-3 now. Canada playing 8.
Skott i alla fall. Bra. Bra. 11-0. Håll igång. Linja bra. Bra fart.
Litt solid.
Rent. 12.
Solid.
12. Yep.
Trying to sort of tap this and roll, Kevin?
Yeah, roll to the middle. Should might be able to freeze on the those middle rocks over there.
Nice shot.
Not bad. I ended up hitting it a little bit thick, and that leaves an outturned, what, a half rock double across the top of the red. Difficult to not jam this, though. Has to be hit exactly right. Lots of pace, of course. Trying to hit this skinny half.
Sorry.
Like that.
Sorry. Bra spel. Helt okej. Den låg tjockare än vad den till slut träffade. Ja, faktiskt. Den fick jag lite mer som jag ville. Ja, jag tyckte den
So they it sounds like maybe they overswept it just a little bit, Kevin. Wanted to hit a touch thicker.
Well, just wanted to save the back one, yes, and sit 2 because now Torger will be playing the hit. And this is a great opportunity for a blank now for Team Norway. Get the blank here. 2 hammers to Sweden's 1 and only 1 point down. Very nice, as long as it doesn't spin out. Doesn't. Hangs in there. Nick had a look at drawing, but...
Jag på runda, ja. Jag gillar nog att slå. Okej. 11 så, eller? Eller mer? 11 blir bra. Kant 8 till.
Not a bad call to draw and try to force, but you're winning right now. I think if the blank happens, it happens. You carried into 8, 1 point up.
Håll igång. En lite hård. En lite. Nej. En lite hård. 10. Kommer ner.
Well, this really took off about halfway down the sheet. They're going to need to hold this. Oh, well swept. That just all of a sudden snapped, that one.
Ja, 10-7.
Kändes bara som...
I suspect we'll just see this end play out, but is there ever a time where you, if you're Sweden or even Norway, consider playing
Well,
to force the issue?
Norway for sure will not, because they want a blank. 2 hammers to 1, only 1 point down. That's a terrific position to be in. For Sweden, if ever Norway were to roll out, then yes, Sweden go right around that center guard and try to force, because a force now you'd be a tie game. Sweden would have 2 hammers to 1, and that's a definite advantage. You win a high percentage of those curling games in that situation. If Nick were to roll out here, for example, I would think that Norway would walk up and peel that guard. And then just peel the last one and take the blank. Trying to roll buried? Nope.
Jag hade nog inte gjort så mycket skillnad.
Jag tyckte det såg ut som den började dra, men...
Okej.
Eller 5 mot 12.
Ja! Ja!
Yep.
First stone here for Stefan Walstad.
Definitely needs to stay and does not want to roll buried. Rolls buried.
Really moving.
Set up. Oh, rolls. That's tricky. Does not roll buried. Rolls across. Nick probably almost has to tap it out. Oh, looking at going around.
Yeah, thinking about it. Depends how much you want to force it, I guess. Eh?
Playing the hit.
Så bra, eller?
Analytics.
Yep.
Nicholas Sedin studies analytics, and
vilken
you have a slight advantage if you're winning. So you wouldn't want to give up a sloppy deuce here, because that does give up control. But looking at it from Norway's eyes, I understand that you are slightly less than 50%. If you don't get the deuce here, but you've got 2 hammers to 1. That's the great part about curling. It's all about analytics and odds and looking at the scoreboard. And somebody like Nikodin's going to know to make sure you hit this. No, could make the roll right in behind, though.
This is really moving. This is that spot you've been talking about this game, Kevin. That intern going away there, really, really curling, and they got caught on it.
That's been many, many rocks have over-curled in that spot.
And now,
take the 2.
Hit for 2.
Absolutely, take the 2 if it's given. There's no risk, so just make sure you stay. Wow, did not expect that. So now you don't want to miss it, though. Looks just fine.
We've had a couple of those situations where it's turned late in the end. And that'll be 2 for Norway, as they now take the 6-5 lead after 7.
Men du må vurdere nå, da. Hvis du drar tight guard, så tror jeg de drar corner. Nå i 8.
Tight. Litt tight. Setsen nå veldig nå. Eller køle, ja, først. Ja, Markus.
Farta er der.
Ok, køle veldig.
Ja, farta er der. Bare høyt, bare bite.
Ja, bare høyt. Bra.
Welcome back to Winsport Arena here in Calgary, Canada, for the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. In a very interesting game here between Sweden and Norway. Norway just scoring 2 points to take 6-5 lead, and into the 8th end we go. Sweden has the last stone advantage. Big miss there by Nicholas Edin in the 7th end, Kevin, to hand that 2 points to Norway.
Yeah, very big surprise, and just that one spot on the ice I've had a little bit of trouble with.
See a big difference in numbers here at the lead position between Christopher Sundgren and Magnus Vaberg.
It's a big difference, actually. Yeah, substantial. Want to get this rock tight to the rings. A little bit longer than probably would have liked it. But nice line. And that could be taking lots of chances. This end trying to score 2. Even if Sweden only gets 1 though, tie game, 1 hammer each. Lots of rocks in play and let it ride. It's a fun situation for us and the rest of the fans around the world watching.
Okay.
Nice draw there by Christopher.
Yeah, he's had a terrific game.
Okay.
Nok fart, tror jeg.
5,5.
Du er litt lange. Du er lange.
Ingen bass med linje her.
Du er lange.
Nei, ikke rør.
Ja. 8. Du er lange.
Ja.
Helt sikker.
Marcus Hoiberg trying to make a draw here. Hanging out there, they're sweeping it, try to rub off that red one because they knew it was heavy, and they just missed it and slide deep to the back 8 foot.
Dit, samma som Krippa. Vilket som?
Den. Ja, jag spelar den så många gånger.
13-6 på deras.
Ja.
13-6 är mitt bakåt.
Mycket isel då.
Lite mindre.
Rasmus Rana and Marcus Hoiberg. Marcus having a really nice game and slightly out curling Rasmus. Still decent numbers for Rasmus though.
It'll be a little closer after that missed draw we just saw. Went into the back 8. This rock is hanging wide too, waiting for it to try to get by the corner. Nope.
Just chops off and rolls for center guard. We'll see Norway try to wrap around here again.
2 tries. This will be a lot closer, I would imagine. This will be awfully close on this one. Same line and just take a few feet off, and it should finish nicely around that center guard.
Yeah, it looks a lot closer. When the sweepers have their brooms down, you know it's got to be close.
Right on the front button. Beautiful.
Very nice shot.
It's always scary to give a really good athlete the same shot twice. Seldom do they miss it, and he did not. Made that perfect.
Jag tror försöka dubbla garderna och så få med topp 12-stenen. Kan våran stanna i boet så är det nice.
Ja,
behöver inte spela något jättehårt. Halvträff på den röda ska vi träffa ungefär. 80%. Wow. Med! Wow! Ganska tunt på den.
Bra spel. Mycket bättre så i alla fall.
Cleared the whole middle, Kevin.
Ja, ska jag ta den lite?
Ja, vi har 2 corners.
4 sten kvar. Bra.
To get it going.
And over to sheet A, update here between Canada and the Netherlands. Wouter Huskins with the last stone here for the Netherlands. Trying a bit of a run back.
Yeah,
Here, Kevin.
Brendan Botcher in his last actually hit and rolled off a side rock to put them both in the forefoot, forcing this run back, and very difficult to try to get two because they're off center. And well, steal of one it is. 7-3 now for Team Canada, but a really good shot by Brendan Botcher to set up that steal.
Spelar ingen roll. Där du tror det är bäst. Jag gillar den här. Ja. Jag tror det är över curlen ändå. Ja. 10. Ja.
Tror det.
Okej.
Känsla på det.
Ja. Ja.
See that back biter, that red back biter. So now a hit and stay, maybe even a roll behind the corner.
10. Wow. 10. Nej. Nej. Helt. Wow. Japp. Nära. Japp. Wow. Vicka. Japp. Kom igen. Hårt, kom igen. Japp.
Nice shot.
Det är bra.
That's behind the tee, though. Behind the corner, behind the tee. So needed to roll further or less, because right now you are giving a chance for the freeze to get out of trouble for Team Norway.
Good numbers for Oscar. Torger a little lower than I'm sure he'd like. Struggling with his draws as we watch him throw a draw to the wings.
Well, this is an important one. 8th end against 2. You make it, you're probably out of trouble. Miss it, it could be big trouble.
And the sweepers just watching this one. They don't want to chop off here. Nicholas is going to try to move that red one, give them some space. I think they got enough space there, so they're going to play a top back. Try and lay 2, maybe even 3.
If you
Håll igång. Bak 12 igenom. Ja. Igenom. Ja. Kom igen. Kom igen.
This one's really moving, Kevin.
try to get by. Does. Don't want to roll too far.
Does get out. Yeah.
That does roll a little far, though. Sets up a freeze again.
Leaves a bit of an opening there for Norway still. Next door, Denmark and Korea. Sheet C.
Yeah, this has been a terrific end played by Team Denmark, and Team Korea looked at many options of trying to score a point, but thought, you know what, we're up on the scoreboard, let's just peel the one out and concede a single point. Tie game, Korea still has last rock. I think a good call.
Yes.
You know, they looked at many different options of trying to score, but just not worth it when you're up on the scoreboard. Good call. Good decision.
Linja bra.
Forsiktig, tror jeg. Ja, 7.
Og da, hva hvis det er 7?
Jeg tror den er nære for det. Ja, nære.
Nei, vi må ikke banse. Vi tåler ikke bans.
Stefan Walstad, skip here of Norway, his first stone in the 8th end.
Markus.
Need to lock this right in.
Ja, kjør på. Har, må bli shot.
Has to be there, cannot be light. Can't be light. Oh, that is...
Just mismanaged that.
Second shot, I believe. I think yellow.
Yeah, and they're upset with themselves. They weren't going hard on it, and then it maybe started to come down, and they missed the sweep and the line.
Yeah, there's a big sweeping area there. So Sweden can play to the open side and set up for their 2 points.
See, they're not really sweeping it here, Kevin. They're trying to even make it curl, and then all of a sudden, it's not there. And it overcurls. See the struggles for Nicholas Edin. Not typical numbers that we see for him. And they're still in a tight game.
92.
A lot to do with Oscar's numbers being so high to keep them in it.
Bra fart. Okej, linje. Känns tight. Bra fart. Helst inte. Topp 4. Lugna.
Want this about a foot in front of the tee. Does not want to go behind the tee. Set up for another freeze.
Bara sitta. Bara sitta. Behöver inte göra något mer.
Looks good.
Bra där. Mycket bra. Bra snack. Bra.
Well, you may say a run back and then try to make the run double. So hit the yellow just on the outside, across the top of the red, all the way across the sheet, and knock the other one out.
Even just to roll over there, Kevin, would probably be not too bad.
That would do it as well, absolutely. If it curls up a little bit and you dead nose it and stuff it behind, that's good too. You need to make that decision prior to.
Det klart, begge kan jo gjøres med pil, da, for så vidt.
Ja, jeg tenkte pil, da.
Ja, det er det.
Den her bra.
Pil? Ja.
Peel weight, so likely playing the raise double. If you're trying to play the raise and stick it, you'd play less weight. So this.
They need the speed to get it across the rings.
You don't need to bump that the red on the far side of the sheet out of the house, so you only need to bump it about just a little bit. Then you'd be lying two. Tough shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard.
This looks like it's moving. Oh, and they don't even get that one out. That really moved for them. They weren't panicked initially, and suddenly it seemed like it was too late.
Amazing. One little sweeping error, left that one short. And here we are, a draw for 3.
Denna var okej, va? Ja, jag har inte känt något. Jag har inte spelat jättebra den här matchen.
Vi har inte tänkt på något. Jag i alla fall.
Last stone here in the 8th end.
Vida fina spåret än så länge.
Nicholas Edin drawing for a big 3 points here. Just needs almost 8 foot for this extra point.
Sweepers like it, just cleaning it in top of the house. No problem.
3 red.
3 it is. 3 red.
3 red, and now a score of 8-6 for Sweden after 8.
De här glider ur 5. Det känns som att jag tryckte bättre att vi får bort den så du slipper fundera på det också. Ja, vi har bara känt alltså.
Då måste vi gå för 2 och så stjäl det sista.
Ja, hvis ikke de drar inn nå, så kan vi kanskje slå og så gå for 3 i siste.
Ja, då blir det. Ja, okej.
Ja, den här ska inte...
Ja, den är rätt bra.
Tycker den tappar. Tycker den känns okej.
Bra linje.
Tycker den såg ut som den började kalla då, trots en ganska spinnig sättning. Väldigt spinnig, men det känns som den börjar dra ändå.
Ja.
Welcome back here to the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. Big score 3 for Sweden in the 8th end to take a 2-point lead. Now on to the 9th. Norway has the last stone advantage here.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That 3 and 8. It didn't look to be that scary. You know, one freeze tried to be made, wasn't quite made, chipped off. The next freeze ends up a little light. Come around, missed raise, 3. So 3 misses in a row. I guess that'll do it. Team Norway.
Yep.
So what do you think, Kevin? You think Norway, what does Norway want to do here? Do they just want to blank this out and take the hammer to 10?
With the 5-rock rule, yeah, that's funny, you know, back a few years ago, we would never have dreamt of doing this, but it's pretty common now with the 5-rock rule to, your odds are probably better to get 3 than to get 2 than try to steal with the tick shots being made the way they are these days. It's certainly something a lot of people talk about. It's not easy any which way you look at it.
Well, and Nicholas went in with their first one.
Nicholas is happy to be 2 up. It's not really for him to decide.
I think some teams would try to force the Norwegian team to score this end.
By throwing a guard, you mean? Wow. You throw a guard, they're going to throw a corner. So that sets up for a 3. That's a little scary. Then you lose control of the game. So no, I think this is going. I don't think Sweden could do much about this. 2 up going home and see if you can hold. This will be a very fast end. Should make for an interesting last end, though.
Yeah, that's for sure.
5-rock rule. It's tough to stop the team from having a chance for 2, and sometimes 3. Obviously, there's teams in the world easier to get 3 on than Nick Edin's team, where they throw hits.
Wow, like, whoa!
Oh, might have just rolled out there. Nope. Guess it's in. Oh, no.
So, yeah, trying to freeze do it, make the blank a little tougher.
Ingen tid. 94. Linjen bra. 1,5 sten framför 10. Ja, den lite grann ändå. Topp 4 i fart är bra för frysen här. Lite plats just nu.
Känns som den är där.
Okej, ska vi... Ja, det är bra linje faktiskt. Det är bra linje för
Trying to lock this right on. Line's pretty good. If the weight's good.
Bara där.
Ja, den är lika lång som gul så.
Det är bra, nu är den garanterat ut i alla fall.
Just a little bit of a chap off. And thirds rocks here already in the 9th end.
Yeah, this one's went quick.
Yep.
Certainly the clocks are not going to be a problem this game. He had a quick end in the first end, and then a quick end this end. So that's lots of time.
Another opportunity for Oscar to try to play this corner freeze.
Risk lång, ja.
Ja, vi har inte linje för det här lite. Behöver eka.
Sweeper is not liking the speed on this one.
Ja, igenom. Helvete.
That has lots of pace on it.
Surprising when he was so close on his first one. But it's quite a difference that he threw on that one.
Send igjennom, tror jeg egentlig, men. Pil ut den eventuelt, da.
Ja.
Er det plass der, da? Ja.
They're just going to remove that so that it's not a problem.
Probably not a bad idea. Let's get rid of it. If you leave anything in play, Nick will be trying to come around it or something to force you to 1 or even 2. Have that hammer coming home, and that's exactly what Norway doesn't want.
Hvis du ligger igjen, kan de dra et annet sted også. Ja, det gjør ikke. File.
Skal du rulle av hvis du...
Ja.
Just an in-turn draw here for Nicholas. Draws have been a struggle for him this game, although he did make a nice draw to the button for his 3 points last end. Never hurts to have an extra open draw.
See how Nick is following this down the ice, watching and paying attention.
Well, and this is that spot that really, really moves, Kevin. They took quite a bit of ice, and it's still crossing the center line.
That curled.
That curled
6 feet, yeah. A little more even, 7 feet just about. Wow. Definitely wants to roll this out of play. If Stefan were to nose this in the top 12, Nick would go around it. But no problem.
Ut här. Han hade en ganska dålig slide när han skulle göra dubbeln här. Ja.
So switching up the spot here. Trying to draw to the side of the rings here.
Just make sure you get deep in the house. Don't want to leave it right at the very top. Make sure you're around the tee line and make the blank as difficult as possible.
Do you think they chose this side because it is a little bit, it curls so much, Kevin? Hoping that maybe they get a
certainly
nose?
I think that's...
Last stone here in the 9th end. Team Norway. No problem in that curly spot. A blank end, and they will hang on to that last stone advantage heading into the 10th and final end in this matchup between Sweden and Norway. Sweden leads 8-6.
Bra omgång nu, boys. Ja. Bättre än mot ryssarna. Ja.
Så dur.
Det är lugnt. Kan du köra när du är klar?
Han är lite framåt.
Samma som i 9:e.
Jag håller tryck.
Det är tajt.
Det är lite tajt nu.
Ta lite tajt, ja. Viktigast, full 4 någonstans är viktigast.
Helt okej linje om Ralla har
den lite tajt.
Ja, farten är viktigast. Bra fart.
Welcome back here to the 10th and final end between this matchup of Sweden and Norway. It's been a very interesting game, and Sweden taking a big 3 in the 8th end, but Norway here has the last stone advantage, playing 10.
Det är perfekt. Den är gul.
Lite för långt tror jag egentligen. Du må dra längre.
Okej, sätt men...
Så du kan bruka den.
Ser lite tajt ut, ja.
Kan 12 där ute nästan då.
Kan 12. Ja, där är det.
Mer giv nästan.
Bra linje.
Jag tror den kommer behöva curla.
Hänger.
Kan vänta. Topp 8. Ner emot.
Ja,
This looks a little bit heavy. Sweeper's not really wanting to sweep it at all.
På 10.
Den curlar upp in här nu.
På 10.
Want this to curl right up to the nose of this other red one.
Sorry.
Kanske?
Man vet
Not too
aldrig.
bad for the front forefoot. You're right, they would certainly like that to be stacked right on top of each other, but nothing behind the tee, so that's favorable. Second guard will go up now.
Den är bra.
Jag träffar linje, tror jag.
Bra fart. Jag får den på linje. Linje är grej. Litt lenger.
Markus innom nå. Linja er bra nå. Få han til å gå som igjen.
Bra fart. Jag får den på linje, boys.
Throwing another corner guard here. Norway trying to even these up.
You don't want to give up a double appeal with Rasmus throwing.
And we'll head over to sheet 8 for another update between Canada and the Netherlands.
A fairly wide open end, this one, and Netherlands got a rock behind the corner guard and maintained the deuce. Would have loved, of course, to get 3 this end, but a shot here, a nice, fairly easy draw for 2 points and narrow the lead.
No problem for Wouter Huskins, the last stone thrower for the Netherlands, and that will make it a 7-5 score. Canada with the last stone advantage coming home in the 10th end.
Gewoon goed om in de gaten te houden. Ja, visst är det va? Jag tänkte också, det curlar ingenting.
So Norway using their corner guard. We'll try to come around here.
Den är bra. Rent hvis du kan, Magnus.
Helst ikke.
Okej.
Helt vekk, helt vekk, helt vekk. Vi er lange, vi skal høyt.
This in front of the tee, buried.
Ja, men bare høyt, så høyt som mulig, tror jeg.
Yeah, again, the sweeper's not really wanting to sweep too much of this. A little bit deep and over curled, I think, too. Probably wide open on that out-turn side. Hey, Kevin?
Yeah, curled a mile open, so, but that's okay. It's only the second's first shot. Needs to make the next one, though, for the math to get your 3-ender. That was kind of, that one didn't really matter, but the next one does. This is just a peel out.
So we'll see Norway try this again.
So yeah, now you come around with this one. Norway, I would imagine, peels the guard. And then you either play the tap and get behind a guard or come around the other corner. And then you have the availability to go around the other guard, and that sets up for your 3-ender. That's the theory behind it all.
Then there's the execution.
There's always that part. There's always a theory, and then in all sports, you actually have to make the shots. This looks like a good one, though. This will be in front of the tee. That's buried.
Nice shot there by Marcus.
Alla träffar här sitter ditåt, men så länge den tar där är det fine. Ja, jag kan vara på bara ta den. Okej.
Det är lite äckligt om.
Eller vill du testa alltså?
Alltså ifall de drar in bakom andra cornern och vi slår, då ligger vi ändå 3.
Okej, klipp den då. Ja.
So are they playing a run back, Kevin, or just a straight peel?
I believe they're just throwing the peel. You'd hate to play the run back and stuff it. And now you either play to the middle two and go behind the center, but you might set up a double, so probably have to go around the corner this time.
Bara så här, kant 8 på din och så tar jag mitt 12 och räcka när jag sätter den som en riktig. Ja.
Vi kanske kan slå den.
So Norway trying to come with the out turn now and Barry behind their other corner guard.
Litt tight.
Just want to be careful now when you puts from the rings. You need to make room for two. You have to go around the corner again. Line looks pretty good. That's far enough right there. There's enough room for two. That was very important.
Yep. Nice shot by Torgar.
För har ingen dubbel. Ja, jag håller med. Vilken fart? Normal 8. Okej. Eller vad gillar du? Normal känns bättre. Det är typ en tjock hall bara. Okej, ja men det gillar jag då. Gillar du det här? Ja.
So did Nicholas want to move those red ones, one of those red ones in the middle?
Well, right now they're locked on a corner, so it's really kind of like there's only one rock there. Such an easy double. So if Oscar could move them a little, that would help. Just move it over a little. Nicely done. Really nice, actually.
Vi la den nästan rakt bakom.
Ja,
det var det fint.
Ja, du vil prøve å trykke den ut.
Ja, du vil ikke doble. Sitte. Kanskje han får blæsta da. Du vil bare dytte den dit. Da tror jeg en garde, kanskje.
Kan ikke garde. Tror ikke kan garde.
Nei, det kan jeg ikke. Jeg tenkte en stein for tidlig.
Time out for Norway.
Det er bra nå på din siste. Skal jeg trykke den dit?
Må slå ut den bakste. Du må spille vant eller noe sånt.
Slow hold.
Nok til å få den bakste.
Talk to the team.
Så kan du vel finne på å spinne litt til.
Ja, men du må få den bakste. Eller få den dårligere enn den i hvert fall.
Ja, ja. Men ikke 10-5 liksom. 11-5 om da. Ja.
Virkelig.
Jeg viser litt utsida. Valgt. Ja, bare liksom sette opp lomma og ligge der.
Jeg tenker hvis du ikke, så lenge du får en liten
Do you
sjekk
think they
innover,
need to move some stuff around here, Kevin, or maybe just freeze? What do you think?
Well, I certainly like the hit and roll, leaving the angle. You see the yellow rock above the OK tire. That's your winning shot. So that's a half rock angle raise. So when you make this hit, roll in a straight line to that one. That's the shot, because that's your winning shot. In theory.
Torger, jeg tror nok med 80 så kan det være at den spinner litt innover.
Ja, men jeg tror ikke det gjør noe.
Ok. Lykke der.
Ja, det blir egentlig som en rull.
Ja, det blir det. Liten rull. Bra fart. Bra. Hold den i gang.
A bit of a tap.
Linja gull.
Hit, quite a hit and roll here.
Yep. Hard.
This one's moving.
Just want to roll a little bit, not too far. Oh, this is going to roll quite a ways. No, not bad.
Still sitting in front of the red one. They didn't want to roll quite that far, but we have our second final. Team Canada with a 7-6 win over the Netherlands. And they move to 4-1.
Hey, Brady.
And the Netherlands still looking for their first win.
Vad gör vi annars? Det är i och för sig, alltså den här dragen, det är ingen gimme. Det är lätt hänt att man kommer ända
Time out
ner
now for
i
Sweden,
rön, så att säga.
as we see
Det är väl kanske okej. Det är värt att komma ända hit. Det kanske är okej
Lindberg
faktiskt. Det är bara, den här är lite i spel för den linjen.
come out for
Det
the
är tajt
timeout.
att dra in i det här hålet. Det är det.
Vart kan det vara okej då?
Alltså vi skulle... Alltså det här är inte värdelöst va? Om jag råkat skava i den här. Så länge man inte öppnar så mycket att han bara slår rätt i hålet och dubbla, då är det ju... Eliminerar vi ingen nu och de gör något bra, då behöver vi ha en dubbel på sista. Eller se till att frysa någonting som är bättre än den här. Ja. Så han bara ligger en och så... Men instinktivt...
Om vi klipper den här...
You can see them tapping that corner guard that you spoke about, Kevin. They're looking at that, I think, as well, as thinking ahead and wondering what they're going to be leaving Team Norway.
Om man gör den då.
Especially Nicodine, because you know that's what he'd be looking at for the game winner shot. Angle raise.
Dra in den där. Hur är garden i hålet då?
Tycker jag båda dem, Niklas. Både garden eller...
Ja, men då kan vi ha någonting här också.
Ja. Spelar den och den här, då, alltså man borde...
Kanske vi kan slå och lägga tredje sten.
Han kan sätta in den och så ligger han kvar här.
Ja.
Jag tror in här.
Ja,
Okej, ja.
jag gillar den också.
Jag med. Tror vi då.
Looks like they settled on
alltså,
playing freeze, coming around freeze to their own here. Kevin, do you like this?
Anytime you're up, coming home, you hate to have to freeze on your skips first, but that yellow is locked on the corner. One's buried, and that angle raised into the pocket is pretty easy. So can't argue with Nick. And if you can manage to lock this right in there, then it is going to be very difficult to get 3 for Norway. But this is not an easy shot, and Nick hasn't made many really good draws today.
Lite mindre bara.
Yeah, he's brought his draw numbers up a little bit, but he was only at about 50% earlier in the game, now at 70%. As we watch him throw his first here in the last end. He did throw a draw in this spot a couple of ends ago for his 3 points. Made a nice draw to the button.
This is really moving towards the guard. It doesn't get by. Wow.
I think his weight was pretty close. Really moved for him.
If you could make the double here, make the double in the reds, and sit, bump that yellow a little bit so it doesn't overlap to wreck your angle raise.
Begge liker det. Men det sånn at oss vil dytte egen ut dit? Nei. Dytte litt går bra, men for å klare å ikke dytte den, så må jeg jo gå relativt mykt, må jeg ikke? Og da skal jeg få ut den 7'eren.
Sweden down to only 50 seconds, which is plenty of time really for Nicholas to throw his last stone, and Norway lots of time here to have a conversation.
Sweden doesn't have any timeouts though.
Neither one of them
Nor does, but Norway's got forever 4 minutes, but 50 seconds. There's not a lot of time to discuss. Got to get all the way to the other end. That takes 10 seconds or close to 15. So.
Ja, da kan stoppe. Hvis du setter den i hullet her nå, så drar han et eller annet her, så får hun aldri ut.
I've seen teams with less.
Yes.
Not mentioning any names.
No question about that.
Du setter den her, så er det faren her at du får... Jeg tror du må prøve å få dyttet det litt.
Faren at det gjør sånn, og så har han dobbelt tilbake. 70 med bare kontrollert pil, 7,5.
Ja, du kan spille en 8er og 3, da.
Ja.
Egentlig.
Ja.
Hvis du spiller en 8er, så kan du, spille en 8er, så kan du på en måte dytte den helt ut hit da.
So you're talking about moving that yellow one of theirs. Kevin, do you like moving it, or do you like leaving it there somehow?
I'm mer på
Well, I don't mind moving it 4 inches. Make the double with board weight. And then just bump it a little bit. If you bump it too far back, and Nick noses the one over on the side, you might not have a shot.
Du kommer til å treffe den her oppe.
8, tror jeg får en Holstein.
Ja, jeg tror du kan køle litt utover her.
First things first, you have to make the double.
Hvis treffer 80, så er det kjempebra.
Ja,
90 også er bra.
90 tror jeg ikke jeg får ut den øverste.
Tror du ikke det?
Ikke med 8.
Med 8? Ok. Jeg spiller litt tynnere da. Det tror jeg.
Liten rull der, eller?
Ja. First down for Stefan Walstad here.
Okay.
It's 10th end between Sweden and Norway. Sweden leading by 2. Norway trying to make the double here and just roll in a little bit. Maybe move their yellow over a little bit.
Now just roll. Oh, that's good.
Yep. It almost rolled a little too far, I think, hey? And
it would have been nice to bump that yellow over, because now Nick does have a double, hitting the yellow thin onto the other yellow. Probably lose the one on the button too, but that doesn't matter. And there'll be a draw for 2 to tie the game, go to an extra end. But you can see, if had it rolled over and just bumped the yellow 4 or 5 inches, this wouldn't be available.
That certainly was better.
Går det running corner?
Nej, fel färg. Fel färg.
Det är det fan. Det var jag som drog fram den här. Ja. 20 sekunder. Ja.
So lots of weight coming here as Nicholas Edin throws his last one, trying to eliminate 2 of these yellow Norway stones.
This is pretty tight. This is pretty tight. It's too tight.
Over curls.
Wow.
Jams on his own, leaves Norway with an open draw here for 3 and the win. Has not been Nicholas Edin's day. Pretty low numbers for Nicholas. I'm not used to seeing. We're used to seeing him with a lot more precision than we've seen with him today.
Tror jeg kan være håret tight dis, eller kanskje det er greit?
Vil du ha mer?
Jeg har hatt litt mer til.
Vi kan gå i den da, bare så du vet.
Ja, jeg vet det, men hvis den stikker tidlig og går i karden, så er det ikke noe mye vits.
Okay.
So Norway actually electing to play a draw to the wing here. We've seen that other side of the sheet be a little troublesome at times. Take a path that you know is a little more consistent.
What a great chance. Just needs to hit full 12. Incredible curling game.
Yeah, really, really entertaining. Lots of great shots. And that'll be 3 for Norway. And a big, big win for Norway over the 2-time defending champions from Sweden.
What a great 3-ender. Great strategy, blanking the 9th, keeping the hammer in 10 and grabbing 3.
And Norway remains undefeated, going to 5-0. Sweden now drops down to 3-2.
Det var jo en avslutning.
Det var greit.
Nei, det var ikke stressa det.
Faen meg. Det var deilig.
Den så ikke jeg kom helt, skal jeg fortelle dere.
Føltes som oss ga bort matchen i 8. Eller, oss var jo i deep shit, men når vi først fikk muligheten der på slutten.
And the last final to update you on between Denmark and Korea. Korea had a bit of a shot for the win, but didn't quite make it, and Denmark steals the win in the final end for a final score of 4-3. Denmark goes to 2 wins and 3 losses, and Korea still remains winless. Welcome back here to show you some highlights from the second half of our game here in the 7th end. Sweden had racked on a guard and left this easy, actually tapped this in to leave this hit for Norway and a hit for 2. And then over in the 8th end, big draw for 3 by Nicholas Edin. After Stefan Walstad missed a run-back attempt to try to eliminate a couple of stones. Nicholas makes the draw here for 3 points and the 2-point lead going into the 9th end, which ended up being an easy blank. So we take you here to the 10th. Really interesting end here. And another miss by Nicholas Edin leads to this open draw for Stefan Walstad and Team Norway to take 3 points and the win and remain undefeated here at the Men's World Championship. Here's some other finals for you from Session 8. Canada defeats Netherlands 7-6. Canada goes to 4-1. And Scotland, 10-1 win over Team China, who remains winless. Denmark over Korea by a score of 4-3. Denmark stealing that win in the last end. And in our feature game, Norway with the 3 in the final end to take the win in that game. And so here are your updated standings. As I said, Norway remains undefeated along with Switzerland, although Norway is that game ahead. And a bunch at 1 loss. Canada, Scotland, Italy, Team RCF, and United States. Sweden alone with 2 losses. Denmark at 2-3, Japan at 1-3, and a group of winless teams, Germany, China, Korea, and Netherlands. And Kevin here is standing by with an interview with Stefan Walstad.
Stefan Walstad, what a curling game. I have to ask you, Jill and I were talking in the booth, blanking 9, and saving the 2 down going home with hammer. Tell me about that a little bit. Is that a strategy you use all the time, and why?
Well, we thought that would give us the best chances. Like, we don't think we steal on Nicholas a whole lot of times, and the way the game was moving, it seemed like if we played a really good end and got lucky, then maybe we got a shot for 3. So, yeah.
You know, that was a really good bounce back, I thought. In the 6th end, you had an in-turn nose for, I don't know how many, 4 or 5, a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But then you were able to bounce back after that.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the bounce back personally after missing a chance to really put the game away, but then you still end up winning.
Yeah, no, I have to compliment my teammates. They told me I threw it good. I was just a second heavy, and that way it didn't curl. So just trying to correct on that and, yeah, move ahead.
So after a big win like that, I want to ask you just your feelings, because beating Nicholas and 2 down coming home, that has to just drive your team forward.
Yeah, it's really good. And to be honest, we got a lot of mistakes from them that we don't usually get. So, and it was kind of a messy game, but it's really good to come out on top.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Might have been a messy game, but it was an interesting one to call for Kevin Martin and myself, Jill Officer from the Bubble in Calgary. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again shortly.
Jävligt svårt. En.